I've been in the kitchen, saucing. I've been bossing in the kitchen, saucing. I've been bossing.
Bitch, I'm a baker, cause I keep making bread. Sure, keep looking like a snack. I eat it up, shit. Give me head whole king in the kitchen. Eat it good. I keep them fed, and I have a special fork. Nigga, call me big head. Whole game smoking, cooking. Going fast like cooking. Green, got a nigga high, so it's high rock when I'm cooking. Bitch got a fake booty, so it's looking pretty cooking. I don't know about her pussy, but I don't like it, and it really began to smell, to be honest.
I've been in the kitchen, saucing. I've been bossing in the kitchen, saucing. I've been bossing in the kitchen, saucing. I've been bossing in the kitchen, saucing. I've been bossing. Bitch, I've been making dough. Every door wanna take her picture with the go. And I'm smoking greens. Then might be my meat. Wanna beef with me? Nigga, brush your teeth. I like my bitches like I like my armor. Ebony, try that's like me. Boy, you don't know my recipe. I'm flexing better than the thought more ebony. I've been in the kitchen, saucing. I've been bossing in the kitchen, saucing. I've been bossing in the kitchen, saucing. I've been bossing in the kitchen, saucing. I've been bossing.
Bitch, I've been had the sauce. Crash Alexis got the Porsche. You can call me Shiogora, but my fuck last name been Frost Boy. My fuck last name been Frost. Cop me some Gucci. You don't know the Frost. Shout out to ask a nigga. I see Frost. About to kill you niggas. You already lost. Oh, about to kill you like the flu. Niggas been smoking. Oh, you stove and they say nigga died rank. That fucking suit. Foreign whip rank new. Oh, Gucci slippers rank new. Oh, private jet. Oblivion flavor for you. Oh. Skirt. Foreign whips. Oh, hey, airships, little Shio with the ships. Oh, hey, foreign whips. My bitch got them foreign hips. Oh, hey, with my drink, fuck her and have foreign kids. Hey, take this with my ice skirt through this. Oh, hey, juicy lips. It's my ass. You can kiss. Oh, hey, niggas move with a flat of a wrist. Oh, hey, it's a private party. You're not on the list. Oh, hey, fuck with me. Oh, you do not exist. Oh, hey, count my septums. Oh, and I spend them quick. Make a million spend this ship. Please don't kill me. I submit. I ain't here to babysit. You ain't with me. You win. All my niggas been catering. All my bitches been catering. It's really blessings on blessings on blessings. I'm doing green like I'm needed. Killing my hoes like I'm taken. Fucking my hoes like a rusty Argoni made it. Oh, what? Hey. Walk in this bitch, I stay assuming. All my saints rock that Gucci. Walk in this bitch, I stay assuming. All my seducers rock that Queen. Money where I walk, money where I talk. flexing my skirt off. Welcome to Gucci. I'm looking Gucci, yeah. Niggas looking goofy. I'm looking juicy, like I'm in a movie. Hot a bitch, nigga, like power skirt, skirt, skirt. Then I get the fuck power. Heck, that's some pretty fresh lean cash in bitch, like looking icy king. Walk in this bitch, I stay assuming. All my saints rock that Gucci. Walk in this bitch, I stay assuming. All my seducers rock that queen. I stay assuming. My saints rock that Gucci. I stay assuming. My seducers rock that queen.
All right. In the battlegrounds of the Third Intifada, everybody's competing for Lord Hassan's attention, the Turkish tyrant, the malignant mullah, and one of his most prominent members of the harem, Denims. She's been in the kitchen, saucing, but what she's cooked up is scamming her audience as part of a social experiment. So I did talk about this on Monday, but I didn't include it in the VOD, and that stream went unlisted. So I'm going to talk about it again, because basically I talked about it too early. Now we finally have the conclusion to that story, and it's funnier than most 99% of the options, right? Okay, so what happens here? So after Ethan says the truth, which is that Denims is at least partially responsible for the CPS call, given that she did an entire stream where she had Ben Empanada on, had him pitch the case for why CPS should be called, just straight up, and then basically agree with him and say, wow, it sounds like a dangerous environment to create, just classic concern trolling. Ethan decides to just say the truth, which is that she is at least partially responsible. And I guess Denim saw this as her opportunity. It's like, yes, how to get attention. How do I make Ethan the bad guy? Oh, I know, a frivolous lawsuit. So first she puts up a GoFundMe where she's begging for money. And of course, she's begging it not from her audience as much as she's begging it from Hassan's audience, because they're one and the same. I mean, this lady is basically just the waiting room for Hassan. And, and that's what everybody says. It's like not a new observation. But anyway, the point is, she asked for money from this audience that just gave $200,000 on a charity stream to pull Creator Clash's chestnuts out of the fire. And she asked for even more money for this frivolous lawsuit over whether she's responsible for the CPS call. And so here's the letter so she hadn't filed the suit yet, but she sent a demand letter to Ethan. And the demand letter here, there's like a couple problems with it. Number one is that, so basically in defamation law, if you can't prove that it's defamation there's like certain categories of claims that are defamation per se. It's like calling someone a pedophile, saying they have AIDS, saying they've committed a crime. And for those, you don't actually have to prove damages. So you don't need to prove that you were damaged by the claim, just that it was made. And everybody wants their defamation to be per se for that reason, because it essentially removes an element, a barrier that you need to jump over when you file your complaint. And what I was wondering when I heard about this is, how is this bitch going to get this to be defamation per se? Like what category is this going to fall under? And the argument that her lawyer makes here is that it's per se because they're accusing her of committing a crime. Okay, what crime? Fraudulent is committing a criminal act such as fabricating a criminal charge against another or making a false report to an official agency. Here's the problem. Ethan did not claim that she made a false claim to CPS. Ethan claimed that she said that was a dangerous environment and that it would make sense for people to call CPS. So it's like you can't, this is the issue, is the way that she portrayed this was that it wouldn't be fraudulent. What would fit under this claim would be is if she went on stream and said, look, guys, we all know Ethan's house is safe. We all know that the kids aren't in danger, but fuck this high elf, call CPS anyway. That would be telling people to do a fraudulent claim. Saying, oh, here's this proof and this proof for why it's dangerous, and I really am concerned, and it should call. That's not fraud. That's not a fraudulent claim. She, like, you could say that the way she portrayed it is that she truly did believe it was dangerous. Now, like, that's crazy, right? It's not actually dangerous, but the point is that you can't, she would have to, for this to work, she would have to basically admit to the act. She'd basically have to admit and say, oh yeah, I said all that, portraying that it was dangerous because I knew it wasn't, which is itself a crime. So it's like, this is like a really big stretch for trying to make this libel per se, but it has to be libel per se because otherwise she'd have to prove damages, and that would be really hard. It'd be really hard to prove that she's actually suffered economic damages for Ethan just playing a video of her stream where she says a bunch of stupid shit. That's not true, right? Because truth is an absolute defense. We talked about this with the Razor Fist thing, of which nothing has happened about that. So anyway, so she grifts her audience. She asks for money for a GoFundMe, and you got to understand that nobody donating, like almost nobody donating to this, is donating to it because they care about a lawsuit, really, or because they care about, you know, her reputation. They just want to strike back at Ethan. And this is, you know, classic sectorization of like this community becoming more and more like the sector. This reminds me of there was dual fundraisers during when Ethan Ralph dropped his sex tape, where Ethan Ralph had a fundraiser about like, I need to see my kids, and then Faith had a fundraiser that's like, I gotta protect my kid from Ralph or whatever. Nobody donating either way to that, and it didn't get that much money, but my point is nobody donating either way to that did it because you know, they carefully considered the personal relationship of these two and the impact on the child and want to support one. They did it because the Ralph A-Logs gave their money to Faith. Well, the dumb ones did, at least. And Gunk Guards gave their money to Ralph. The dumb ones, at least. Same thing, right? This is another case of that. So she collects like 40-some thousand. I mean, we'll get to the number here in a minute. And everybody's criticizing her for this. They're like, first of all, this is just a big grift. Because usually what you do, the kind of legal fundraisers that works are almost always defensive in nature. And we can actually use Ethan as an example because I mentioned this in the 10-year recap video, because he got sued frivolously for React content, essentially, and criticizing this channel. And he did a fundraiser and he got a bunch of money and he used it to defend himself. Now, he also promised to use the excess money on starting a foundation fighting fake fair use claims, which he did not do. And that was a big stink, and he deserved all the shit he got for that. But the point is, the reason why it worked was because it was defensive in nature. It's very rare that you see someone try to make a fundraiser to get a fundraiser like this, Give, Send, Go, whatever, for offensive legal action. And that's because, you know, there's already this perception of vexatious litigation in America, doubly so for fucking YouTubers, like people online and stuff, triply so for this sort of like leftist, wants to police speech type people. And so obviously Ethan responds both on, like a king, Ethan responds both on the stream and his lawyer. Now, whether responding on the stream was wise legally, probably not, but it provided good content and he was confident in his position, and you'll see here in a minute he's proven right. So here's his response. I haven't read this yet, so let me do that real quick. So obviously, the reason he says this, not inclined to provide a more substantive response. You don't want to give up the ship, right, in the response. You don't want to give up what your defenses are going to be, the specifics in the response. And here we go. Like, they just BTFO or send links where she directly acknowledges her contributing to the call. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's really all, and just more clips. I mean, it's really that simple. Just sending the clips of the stream where she comes out and says, yeah, I think, you know, there really is a problem in the house, and like maybe someone should get involved, like that kind of gay shit, right? And they just provide the clips here. This is a pretty good response. And the reason why this is a good response is because it doesn't give up anything else, anything that's not public info, right? You'd be thinking, oh, the lawyer should just destroy her with like exactly what the defense would. No, you don't want to do that, because if she does sue you, you want to keep you don't want to show all your cards, right? So all he does here, the lawyer in response, just show like, okay, here are the public streams, bitch. Like, what are you doing, right? So, and then almost, like literally a day later, one of these tweets, right? This is the 10th. That was 3 days ago, and then this was like yesterday or something. Oh no, this is today, I guess, this morning. Denims comes out and says, actually, the whole GoFundMe was a social experiment. It was a prank, bro. Like, look at this. So 45K later, I'm refunding the GoFundMe. When I go for it as a plaintiff, I will be self-funded. Do you know how bad this looks? Because not only are you not doing what you said you were going to do, number one. Number two, you're admitting to everybody that you could have funded this yourself. That was always an option. So this was all completely pointless. Number two. Number three, how does this make her look in the confidence of her claims? And this is like a legal thing. The thing about when you sue people, I said this in one of the other streams, if you're suing someone, you kind of have to make yourself look like a bitch, right? Because you have to prove to the court and to the jury that you're a victim. When you come here and you say that you're not even sure if you're actually going to sue now, it makes it seem like you are not confident in your claims. And it says, the suit against Ethan is a monumental undertaking. Again, if you really believed that what he was saying to you was so bad and so damaging, it rises to the standard of defamation, the monumental undertaking would be worth it. And when you say that it might not be worth it, it doesn't look good. And they would bring this up if it ever did go to proceedings. So proceeding with the defamation suit against Ethan is a monumental undertaking. His suit with Kavanaugh started almost 4 years ago and is still ongoing. That's another thing. That's a stupid one too. Ethan was dumb for that one. Ethan himself has done some pretty dumb lawsuits. There's this one, and there's one where he's trying to sue like I don't know if he's actually filed it, but he says he's going to, suing anonymous Redditors. That was stupid too. I don't want to fundraise to start a fight that I can't finish. So, okay, I will be self-funded. I don't want to start, I can't finish. So I don't need your money because I can fund it myself. Also, I don't know if I can afford this. There's like 3 contradictions just within this statement, and that's what really makes me think that what happened was this whole lawsuit idea was something she cooked up, like geeked out on whatever. I don't know what she does, drugs, but probably high or something. I don't know. She just geeked out on something, geeked out on Hassan's cum, and was like, how am I gonna get back at Ethan and like put it together in like one night, and then she gets the response letter. She goes and tells her lawyers whatever she needs to tell them to get them to write the original takedown. She gets a response letter and it's like Squidward, like with his mouth, like you know the one I'm talking about, like Squidward freaking out, right? With that in mind, if this is a journey I wish to undertake, I'll be doing it with my own funds and keep you posted. While the statute of limitations runs for the next year, I'll be elaborating on stream on Friday. So, like, this is straight up like it was a social experiment. I'm merely pretending to be retarded type like response. And so here's Ethan responding to, this is before Denims had brought it back. This was supposed to be before, but this is one of his responses to the initial retraction letter.
Denims. Don't sue me, Denims. Please don't take the first legal action. What's that have to do with anything?
For clips.
So the reason he's saying that is because it's like, he's being sarcastic. He would rather have her take the first legal action, because then if he wins in the sort of court of public opinion, he can then come in and destroy her. I want to use a different word, but I'll leave that. Nicholas does reviews of the word I'm trying to look for, but because obviously, with like civil cases like this, you can get attorney's fees from the other party, and sometimes you can even get punitive damages, especially if they fail the anti-SLAPP lawsuit. And SLAPP is laws that are meant to prevent vexatious litigation. But yeah, I mean, this is just.
Denims is a giant turd-eating monster whose life, financially speaking, I'm going to probably not ruin, but I do want to put her in some. I do want to. I would like to put her into some financial.
Declaring bankruptcy?
Ethan, why don't you just chill?
No, what's the proper verbiage on this?
So, unfortunately, we have there are two wolves inside Ethan right now. The high elf wolf that's vindictive and wants to say, I want to financially ruin her. And the other high elf wolf that's thinking about how it would sound in court when it sounds like, when if he ever did any like counter actions, it sounds when you say that you're in this to ruin people, because you generally never want that to be a public statement. So these are the two high elf wolves inside Ethan battling right before our eyes.
Difficult day. How about no? See, that sounds too bad. I'm gonna put her into a pickle.
It doesn't sound serious enough. Pickle sounds like something like a funny.
Want to put her into a bit of a bind. We'll work on it. I'm kidding, by the way.
Yeah. So basically, what he's saying here is, if you sue, I hope you sue me. That way, I can countersuit you and take all your money. So this is her statement. I already brought this up. I think she made another. Here we go. Why issue a retraction letter and crowdfund if you weren't serious about it? Yeah, what a great question, Denims. I was and am. If CCC 48 applies, you must issue a retraction letter within 20 days of the defamatory statement before you can pursue a lawsuit. This is why. Okay, yeah, but it doesn't say you have to run a GoFundMe, bitch. Like, you could have sent the letter out and not had a GoFundMe and then done the GoFundMe when you actually decide to sue. This is why Ethan was so prompt in his letter to Noah. I changed my mind about crowdfunding because I realized I didn't like the money-grubbing narrative. So what changed between when you made it and now that made you realize, oh shit, I'm begging for money as a millionaire? Normally this wouldn't be an issue because I could just be transparent with how the money is spent, which you should be if you're crowdfunding. But over the length of time that a lawsuit would span, it isn't realistic, except people have done it before. Again, I brought it up. Ethan has been in a lawsuit where he crowdfunded. People have crowdfunded for lawsuits and not been shat on for not telling them how much money they spend on Sargento cheese. Anyone that's disappointed needs to realize they would have been waiting a very long time for any kind of emotional payout on this anyway. Very interesting that she acknowledges here that people would not be giving money to actually like help a righteous lawsuit, but rather to get an emotional payout for pwning a high elf. Great look there. And that it's easier to take my time on this when I'm not being perpetually scrutinized as a scammer. Oh my god. So you admit that that's what you look like for doing this, is that you look like a scammer. The reason you're being scrutinized as a scammer is because doing fake GoFundMe is just what scammers do. To anyone that doesn't care about the money and just wants to see Ethan take L's. Okay, so again, she acknowledges that that's all this is about. This isn't about justice. This isn't about I was wrong. This is about punching high L's. The Kavanaugh suit will end before any potential lawsuit. Not to mention, if he does end up, well, the funny thing is she's assuming Kavanaugh's going to win that lawsuit. All he did was win the anti-slap. That doesn't mean he's going to win the case. And I don't even know if that's a good lawsuit either. I'm just saying that. Not to mention, if he does end up filing something against me, he won't. He won't now. Why would he? He'll just wait for you. He'll wait for you. Like, do nothing, win, you know? Like, it feels strange to crowdfund for defamation, then why'd you do it? And for a defense at the same time, and mixing the funds feels even stranger. This is the cleanest way to move forward. So, the other thing that it seems like is that she really thinks Ethan's going to sue her anyway, even though, like we just listened in the last clip, Ethan really wants her to sue first so that he can be on the defensive. I don't think Ethan's going to sue her if she doesn't do it first. And this kind of just signals to him that the idea that I'm mixing money for defamation defense, just make 2 crowdfunds. Take 5 freaking minutes, right? So yeah, basically she scammed $46K out of her audience for a social experiment, only to give it back before she could run away with the money because she realized there was basically no victory condition. You know, it's like, oh, you get the money, you do the lawsuit, nothing happens. Like, there was just no victory condition from doing this. So it was all just pointless. And obviously the most entertaining way that this arc could have gone would have looked something like the lawsuit going forward and we get some crazy discovery. But she is right that would have taken years. And this is a pretty funny, because it just shows how, why would you take anything this person does? Like, this person can't even think 3 days ahead. Like, they did this. They sent the retraction letter. They sent the legal threat letter and the retraction letter and put up the GoFundMe. And then within 3 days, it's like, wait, never mind. You know, it's just a shame because, or not a shame. It's just funny because if this whole sector was like the sector that I always talk about, where any political element to it has been so diluted and so discredited that everybody kind of just understands what they are, which is just guys talking shit on the internet, this would be less bad for her. But when the first thing in your bio is largest female political Twitch streamer, like I'm supposed to like read about theory from Denims, who can't even figure out what a defamation lawsuit is or whether crowdfunding is a scam until 3 days later. It's like, this person should not be running the country, or people running the country should not be listening to this person. And this is what we just looked at. Yeah, and just her admitting that this is all just about him taking L's. So this is Ethan responding to this. In other words, her attorney explained to her that she had no... Yeah, exactly. And would be liable to pay my attorney's fees. Unfortunately for you, I don't need anyone's money, and I don't like being threatened by the person harassing me. So what's interesting is it is kind of him threatening to sue her anyway, which I think is the wrong move if he's going to do that. But I think he's right here. I think what happened was Denims went to her lawyer, vastly misrepresented the events, which is why they wrote the retraction letter. Then the lawyer gets Ethan's lawyer's response that just shows all the clips where it's like, is this you? Like, this you, right? And the lawyer goes and's like, Denims, what, or Jean, I guess that's her name. It's like, isn't that funny? Her name is Jean and she's called Denims. I wish I was that clever. They call her up and is like, Bish, why are we suing for something? Why are we suing for defamation for something that's true? And then shut it down, right? Or an even funnier option, her lawyer dropped her when they found out she had erased out. Oh yeah, so the other part of this is that the worst stream of her saying call CPS she unlisted, which normally would just be like an online L, not an IRL L, but it gets into IRL L when you're filing a lawsuit, because then it's like you're disrupting discovery. And the point at which that becomes destruction of evidence, there's a debate about that. There would be a debate about that. It would be about when she decided to sue. And the problem is that there's a point on the calendar where you can definitively say you knew she wanted to sue, and it's when she sent that letter. And so if she unlisted the stream after she sent that letter, that would be a big like oopsie. So basically nothing happened. Okay. The other thing is Crazy Days and Nights. This is like a really famous website. It's basically Hollywood gossip, but the guys they have writing it, I don't know how many writers there are. I'll just say this. These guys hit way more than they miss. As in, there's some stuff that's been posted on here that sounds crazy. People don't know what, and they're blind items, so they don't put the names, they put like hints. And especially this guy, entertainment lawyer. This guy's a really good record of being correct about stuff. And so here's this one. I meant to talk about this on Monday and didn't. I'm glad I didn't now because it'll fit better with this segment. But one wonders whether the crash out of this police YouTuber / money launderer, boxing promoter turned failed boxing promoter might have anything to do with his wife cheating on him again. So it's just so funny that all the jokes around iDub, because that's obviously what this is about. iDubbbz and Nisa are him being a cuck. Because it's like the most confirmed cheating without actual direct proof. Because it's just the way they act around each other, the OnlyFans thing, the things Ethan does for men that Anissa has demonstrated like an attraction towards. Just all this stuff. And so this is like the closest we've ever gotten to direct confirmation. And I know, like, obviously this is just some like literal gossip blind item posting thing. But trust me on this. If there was any of these kind of websites to be correct about something like this, it's this one. These guys have a good record. Suffy. Yeah, I know. And it was only a matter of time, right? It was really only a matter of time that something like this would come out. I hope it does come out before Crazy Clash 3, because that would just overshadow it even more and just be really funny. Other things. Styx. So Styx is a Satanist chaos magic wizard who claims that after leaving his perfectly fine Dutch wife and kid, decided to fly back to the US, become a professional alcoholic political pundit, and beat some girl in New Orleans. The girl in question also having kids of her own and constantly posting in Styx's Kiwi Farms thread. Basically, every post that she has made in the Kiwi Farms thread is her just screaming, "I'm mentally ill! I'm mentally ill! I'm mentally ill!" over and over and over again. It's a little more, there's a little more to it than that. There's some funny stuff in there. You should go read it. But that's pretty much this. But it is. Apparently, he hit her and had so he has a case in New Orleans for a DV, and he cast he like straight up believes in magic. He's like King Cobra, the JFS. The difference is King Cobra JFS is like likable and doesn't hurt, like uses magic to hurt people, and also is severely autistic, so you can kind of just like play along. This guy, well, just look at him. He apparently. He is so pickled. Like it's basically been confirmed by all of his various ex-girlfriends and stuff. He's like he's like an Ethan Ralph tier alcoholic. You can see him buying beer right here. And this is like a candid that someone took of him in Vermont. And he's a pirate. He's a Satanist wizard pirate. And he likes to come up with these crazy stories where he's like, yeah, so I was in the Taco Cabana, and I don't know why I'm talking like Ralph, but because this guy is Ralph, whatever. I was in the Taco Cabana, and these two goth chicks were loving my look, and it's just like things that never happened for $1,000, right? And what's funny is, so the candid gets posted. Probably no one would have seen this, or it would have been relegated to his thread. But then Styx is just like, yeah, I do look cool buying 2 beers in the middle of the day, walking out like a pirate, and then repost it. Okay, man, that's good. Now we know, right? So here's the other thing. So Locale Live has not been doing well. I'm going to give this little speech again because the last time I gave it was a part of a video that didn't make it in. But Locale Live started as the concept of getting 2 locales that everybody hates for good reason and bullying them online, and they get to make some money out of it. That was the idea. And that attracts a very specific audience, an audience that probably is the same that watches this, the 2 bots that watch this. And it's audience like me, like youngerish, like men who follow like internet drama, right? And that's what they started as. And the thing is, though, that Keem needed to warp it into a protagonist story about himself, like he does about everything. And, I've said before that for all of Keem's faults, he knows how to make money online, and I'll stand by that through this whole thing. But what ended up happening is he makes a spin-off show, which is Locale Queens, and that kind of set off this arc where the show started to pander more and more towards a different audience. And it was an audience that was kind of always in the background, had always been there, and then now that they were starting to get attention, really started to become the focus of the show. And that's, there's a reason why 40% of Kiwi Farms is women. Part of it is because there are no female-friendly anti-trans spaces online. That's one part of it. I'll give them that. Cool. The other part of it is because, as strange as it sounds, there is a female locale enjoyer audience. And when they're making fun of other women, they can be very vicious. But when it's male locales, they tend to fall into this pattern where they pity the locale. And the reason my theory is why is because a lot of them are like in their 30s and are starting to feel that like maternal impulse, so they want to cultivate and they want to nurture. They have the nurturing impulse, and they see like a Boogie and Wings, and they don't see, like, I see Boogie and Wings as middle-aged loser, like completely unsympathetic retards. A middle-aged woman who's getting this nurturing impulse, some of them might see them as a little boy who's being bullied. And that audience, like I said, has always been part of like the locale watchers type people. And I think Keem, whether he realized it or not, because I think a lot of what he does is subconscious, recognized that audience existed and started to turn Locale Live to pander to them. And the way he did that was with Locale Queens, by having like a female-centered show, right, with female-type drama, right? Because the girls do like the girl drama stuff. They just view it differently than the male locales. And then they turn the main show with Boogie and Wings into less bully and torture 2 unsympathetic idiots to how do we save them? And of course, it would be Keem who saves them. How do we fix them? How do we do this? And they really leaned into the pity element. And I think that kind of the shark was jumped on the transfer from this young male, more, for lack of a better term, malicious sort of audience to this middle-aged female nurturing type audience. It happened after the Cancer saga. Because that's when Queens got made. That's when Keem started to really push the whole redemption arc narrative and all this stuff. And that worked for a little while. For most of fall of 2024, Locale Live was doing really well. I stopped watching it because it wasn't, I wasn't the target audience, and I just want to see these guys get essentially tortured live. I don't care about the redemption arc. If they redeem themselves, it's not going to be done online, essentially. Whatever. Good. Godspeed. Do whatever you want, Keem. But then you have the incident in, what was it, March, where Wings pushes his wife live. And, when you've cultivated this middle-aged, not married female audience, you're going to have a lot of, just by the nature of that demographic, a lot of domestic abuse victims. And they're not going to put up with Wings pushing his wife live. And it's a shame because it was one of the first, real moments on the show since the Cancer Saga. It was something that didn't feel scripted when so much of the rest of the show did. And obviously, the audience rebelled. They spurred out. They wanted Wings off the show. And Keem was kind of put between a rock and a hard place where you want to keep Wings because it's content, right? He's content-brained. But you cannot, set off these women who are most of your audience now over something that is, probably really dear to them. So they kick Wings. And so the last, 2 months since that's happened, the show has kind of been, in a downward spiral. It's the views and money are halved and whatnot. They've been looking for a host and they don't really have one. The other problem is that by focusing on this, for lack of a better term, more vanilla, wholesome type audience, a lot of the other locales you might bring on a show like that, you can't because they're just too far. And you might say, well, what do you mean they're too far? They have fucking Boogie, and Boogie's literal Satan, right? And it's yeah, but the thing is, Boogie plays into the pity angle really hard. So it kind of, in the views of people who fall for that pity angle, which is their audience now, he's more acceptable than someone else they might bring on as a co-host like Ethan Ralph. Think about that. Ethan Ralph would be the perfect co-host for a Locale Live show that was more oriented to their original audience that are just malicious young men who want to see him get tortured. Because they would just go on, they'd scream at each other, it would be insane, they'd bring on callers, it would be a zoo, right? Which is what I would like to see, what that audience would like to see. But like I said, the middle-aged female audience that they've cultivated would hate that. They would never accept Ethan Ralph because he's Ethan Ralph. He's he's up there in top woman herders of the decade, right? He's in a death struggle with OJ over who's hurt more women, right? So they really don't have a co-host. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to basically draw from the second and third string, because as part of this, Keem has spun off all these other shows, brought in all these other people, random Discord people, because that's the other thing, they have this weird Discord community. I've never been in it because I ain't giving that fucking money, but you can tell that it's incestuous as fuck, because whenever any of those guys call in, they are whoa, buddy, they're locales themselves, and you can tell whether Keem realizes or not, he has a locale farm as the pay pigs, and he's kind of trying to pull those guys in. The problem is that they're low quality stock. If we're thinking about this like cattle, all these people that they're pulling out of the Discord, they're very low quality cattle. And for a show as prominent as that one, they could pull some studs, like I said, like stud tier locales, like Ethan Ralph, whatever, but they won't. And so you can tell that this has been weighing on Keem, and people have been sort of pointing out the issues with the show. And it came to a head last night, where one of the shows, Locale Tech Talk, was originally made, and this is one of the spinoffs, it was originally made so that RTU, who himself is a giant locale, and his former co-host slash lover slash best friend, Jay Hooft, could have a show where basically 15 minutes was talking about tech and 45 minutes was relitigating their 10-year friendship. Okay. And, there were some people who were into that, but the problem is RTU did what RTU does, which is self-sabotage and ruin the whole thing, even after signing some crazy 10-year Scientology type contract with Keem, where he gave up his play button. And after he got kicked off, they needed a replacement, right? And so they got David Jaffe. The problem with David Jaffe is he's like a real person, and this is Locale Tech Talk, right? So David Jaffe's kind of his politics are pretty liberal. I don't really care about that for this, but he worked on God of War. He worked on a couple of video games. He's an actual guy. He's an actual guy who's worked in the industry and stuff. The thing is, nobody was watching Locale Tech Talk to talk tech. It's a locale show. So when it's just him and Jay, and I don't even know if Jay is still involved, and they're just talking tech, it's sort of like obviously there's an audience for that if it was just a normal channel, but not for the lolcow stuff. And so, like I said, all this stuff is coming to a head with Keem. Also, keep in mind that just 2 weeks ago, Lynx dropped that phone call recording where Keem is talking about turning her face into a glazed donut, where Keem is talking about her being addicted to the Keem cock, all this crazy shit. And the way he shrugged that off, despite being married, is by Keem has some kind of weird freaking thing with his wife where basically they have threesomes and stuff, and he's like, he can go and get other girls, and so can Brantley, but there's no other men. Which is why there are rumors that Brantley is just a lesbian. I say rumors because I don't want to just say that that's 100% true, but, you know, there's enough circumstantial evidence that I think a jury would convict. I'll say that. But so he's under all of this pressure, right? And apparently last night, David Jaffe decides to, out of nowhere, I haven't listened to this, so I don't know exactly what happens, but start talking shit about Brantley, Keem's wife, or something like that. And Keem, who is like who's like a very hands-on boss, you can tell he watches all the shows of that he's like a part of and really like pays attention. He calls into his own show that he's managing here, and fires David and deletes the channel that night. Women, and I still have my cool, like my hot wife, and you know, I have threesomes. Like, it's like the way a 14-year-old would look at it, when really like an adult, like an actual adult man would think like this is a time bomb waiting to go off, which is exactly what happens, right? And so I think this caller called in to talk shit about Brantley because obviously Brantley was putting after the whole shit with Lynx, it's like, what does Brantley even do? Like, if she gets mad, then like it gets thrown in her face that she consented to all of this. If she doesn't get mad, then she looks like a cuck. It's just, and that was Keem's choice to put her in that position. And you may say, well, Brantley's like responsible too because she seems to be kind of like a lesbian who wants girls. But it's Keem's household, and I guarantee you, given that they're like 20 years apart, if the minute they got married, Keem said, okay, we're exclusive, we're having like a normal household, we're gonna live the rest of our lives together, and it's gonna be great, she would have gone with it.
Were suggesting, you know, there was a bit of an IRL doxing kind of thing that she was associated with. Apparently it had reared its head one too many times.
So this is the claim that Lynx is like a dox or whatever. I don't know anything about that, and honestly, the more breath spent on Lynx, the worse.
Keem to feel comfortable keeping her on the network, which I totally understand. So assuming I'm understanding the story correctly, I get it. I mean, unless I'm not understanding the story correctly.
Yeah, and have you heard about the whole thing about her showing her kitty at Fat Camp?
I don't think it was her titty, it was her vagina.
No, he said kitty.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh, you said kitty. I thought you said titty. Okay.
No,
yeah, I did hear about that. I don't think that's a fireable offense. I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah, did you know there were other women at Fat Camp that showed their kitties as well?
Yeah, okay, so here's the context here. They're making claims about Lynx being a hoe at Fat Camp. Totally believe it, Lynx is a hoe. And now he's going to transition that to say that also Brantley was being a hoe.
Who else showed their vaginas?
Brantley did. Keemstar's girlfriend. 100% did.
Who did she show them to?
She showed them to Kid Behind the Camera, 100% proven. Tech for tech, if you...
Dude, really? Okay, hold on here. Let's be clear. Anyone who doesn't know, Kid Behind the Camera doesn't look like Hassan. He doesn't look like... This is Kid Behind the Camera. Okay, and to be clear, this guy just got our real divorce. Yeah, this is Kid Behind the Camera. Okay, this is a guy who makes videos about his divorce on his channel. He's a POB. He's like 400 pounds. And he just got put in lockup like in February for hitting someone. It's not clear exactly who. People think his wife or his daughter or something. And you're telling me that Brantley, who's like 19, 20, I think she's 20 now, and she's pretty attractive, like is getting rizzed by Kid Behind the Camera. Like, how does...
Go to Rewind, go to Glammy Lammy's after party on the wedding. You will absolutely 100% hear Behind the Camera. He's drunk. He leaves and comes back. And he says, have you guys seen Brantley's pussy? I just saw it. It was so tight, I couldn't put my finger in it. It's so tiny, it's just...
Oh my god, oh no. Okay, so remember when I told you that supposedly the arrangement with Keem and Brantley was like an only woman thing, like only other women? Well, I guess that's probably why Keem got mad, because Keem only felt like he looked good in this whole weird poly thing if it was only women, because it made it look like he was the one who benefited the most. But now that this guy just dropped that, you know, Brantley's getting fingered, it makes Keem... I mean, Keem's a cuck either way, right? Obviously. To right-thinking individuals, Keem is a cuck regardless of whether this aspect is true or not, because it doesn't matter if Brantley is having fake sex, because lesbians can't have sex. but fake sex with a woman or what, he would still be getting cucked. But to the like coomers in the audience who are dumb and have the mind of 14-year-olds, some of them might have been able to cope and say, oh, well, there's no other man, so he's not getting cucked. Well, this claim makes him sound like a cuck, which is probably why he comes in here and loses his mind.
One slit. Whenever Billy and Xylee were talking about how they saw Savage showing her vagina, they said, look, we're going to tell the whole truth about what happened, and they didn't bring up Brentley showing her vagina at all. Like, they completely just missed that fact over 100%, even though it happened on their own fucking show.
Savage showing her vagina, though, is not why she was let go. My understanding is she was let go because there was a sense that she was continuing to push the possible danger of doxing and IRL swatting and things like that. Is that an incorrect reason she was let go?
Okay, no, what it is, okay, so Billy and Xylee were talking about it, and Xylee says, when I was there, Savage said that my pirates couldn't find you. But that is hearsay. We don't know if that absolutely happened or not. And then they tried to pile on by saying that Savage showed her vagina, and she was lying about it because Savage made them say that it didn't happen, and then after they decided to fire her, they came out and said it did.
This Savage person, I still don't really understand who they are. I think they're part of the Locale Queens stuff. When I was still following this, I didn't listen to Locale Queens because I'm not the audience, right? But this sounds kind of like proto-sector, where rather than everyone accusing each other of being a pedophile, like in a full-on sector situation, everyone's accusing each other of being a swatter or a doxer.
But then they're not talking about all
the fact of the matter is that everybody involved in this is doxed because a lot of these guys are like B-list, so like not Mr. Beast, but just under it, YouTube people who've all been doxed. So it's like,
the other women who
I guess they were probably doxing in the Discord, like all the pay piggies and stuff, but that doesn't surprise me at all because certainly all the people in there who came out of that into the show were like mega lol cows who probably like joined under their real fucking name.
Showed their vaginas at back camp.
Well, again, I don't think anybody was
just start their kitties around.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was fired because they showed their vagina. I think they were fired because
They should have been. What is Keem running here? A fucking like whorehouse?
Whether you agree or don't agree, and I'm in no...
This is what I mean. It's like you either this is the talk shit and anything goes, or it's like an actual production. And the problem is all the stuff that Keem cucked was the entertaining stuff, and the stuff he allowed is the degenerate stuff. You know what I mean? Like after the one debate where Ethan Ralph went on and fought with the Boogie and Wings is back in like June, which was a great stream, by the way. He never had him on again because he's controversial. He kicks Wings controversial. He kicks Wings for pushing his wife. They don't allow certain topics to come up. They like censor all this stuff because they want to stay like quote respectable. But then like it's like a freaking orgy going on, you know? I would rather have all the edgy like screaming matches and not the orgy. Can we have that? Can we make that choice?
No position to have an opinion. Keemstar, and I don't know if he was the only one making the decision, but let's just say it was Keemstar, he took whatever evidence was presented to him and decided that for the safety of the brand and fellow humans, it was probably best.
Hello, humans. It sounds like an alien.
Part ways. That I can't speak to, but assuming Keemstar had valid data, that makes sense to me. But I don't care if somebody is an adult and they choose to show their vagina. I don't judge that person negatively. And
you should. You should judge them negatively. Explicitly, you should judge them negatively because it means that they don't respect themselves and they don't respect anybody else. It means that they put no value upon, especially if they're like with another partner or whatever. And it means they don't value future partners because they just give it out for free, essentially. And this attitude, this is like the Destiny, oh, it's okay if you suck cock if you're married type attitude. And this just comes from him being like liberal, I guess, and just from the general attitude of now. But no, you should judge them. They should be like slut shamed for that. And the more you slut shame people for doing that, the more you help other women, high value women who did like do the right thing, which is why it's actually like pro woman to slut shame people.
Frankly, now I'm fascinated why Keemstar's penis is so small. If you're telling me he's marrying Brantley, and her vagina is so small that it's like, you know, it's kind of like you need like...
Okay, he's going in now, okay. Disregard my criticism. I mean, I still believe it, but now he's going in. Let's go.
Like, you know, like I have these glasses to see really small things and they have lights on them. Like if he has to wear these when he goes down on her, you know, I assume he hasn't really opened her up at that point. So his penis must be it could be large, but maybe it's very flat, like Flat Stanley. Or
it's tough.
Or paramecium.
Yeah, he's got a noodle dick or something.
Yeah, it could be really big though. It's big and long and big and wide, but there's not a lot of girth to it. Nothing wrong with that.
Fuck. Yeah, but I just thought it was fascinating.
But wait a minute, let's talk about the vagina. Are you telling me for sure that...
Okay, so I thought this was going to be a case, because this happens all the time, where the caller comes in and works him, you know? Like, gets him to, like, say crazy or edgy shit by, like, manipulating him into a conversation he doesn't want to have. But that's not at all what this is. No, he wanted to talk this shit. That's good. Good on him.
That was a discussion about that young woman's vagina, which is it was so small, according to Kid behind the camera,
Yeah, during the live stream, kid behind the camera
Okay,
was
that's all.
drunk.
I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how do you have a vagina that small? Maybe are they really religious? Maybe they haven't had sex. I'm not. None of these are insults.
You know what's funny about that idea that religious people have less sex? Statistically, the people who have most sex are married, and religious people are married. So if anyone has the most sex, it's religious people.
Yeah.
None of these are insults. I'm saying,
well,
if you're really religious, your vagina, maybe she hasn't had sex yet. Why are you doing? Kat, why are you doing this?
Maybe.
I'm not insulting the woman. He's the one who called in and said this is one of Keemstar's shows, which is
Brantley's vagina.
I don't care if it's Brantley's. I'm just saying, how do you get to a point of having a vagina that, like, wouldn't that insinuate that that particular human had not been sexually active yet? Right? That's not an insult. I'm just wondering. Shut up, Trenches. I'm going too far. How am I
Well,
going?
I mean-
Well, I agree that like you shouldn't skis up YouTube streams as far as like lewd stuff. I completely agree with that. That's kind of what I was saying earlier. Is I would rather Keem cut out all the degenerate shit and allow the like screaming matches. Like I would rather Locale Live be a bunch of fat retards screaming at each other about whatever inane topic, and then not have all the like degenerate shit. Because one of those is like content for the audience, the other one is just gross and degenerate. The other thing to keep in mind is that Rekieta was like drunk and doing drugs the whole time as well. And obviously you don't want to associate drinking with streaming because like eventually it becomes like the brain pathways realign so that you literally cannot press play unless you're drunk. And that's exactly what happened to Ralph.
We're talking about a universe where it was content that someone showed her vagina, and then it was called Coolergate, and then everybody was sending pictures of Arby's all over the place. And now someone's calling in and saying there is evidence that another person in the universe, which I don't care
In the universe.
what her relationship is or isn't with Keem. I'm not insulting.
You should care about what her relationship with Keem because we know one aspect of the relationship, which is boss and employee, okay? And that, number one, changes things, right? Because there's a responsibility you have as a boss with your employees. And who was it that insisted that this was a boss-employee relationship? It was Keem. Keem wants to be in charge. And to be fair, I think that he has some right to be in charge given his successes in businesses. But you can't have your cake and eat it too. If you're going to insist on this is a boss and employee relationship and that you're in charge, then you have to treat it like a professional relationship. And it's so funny that the way these guys view it is that it's worse to have this like crazy shit show online as far as like people screaming at each other, having these big debates, like edgy shit like that is unprofessional. But all this behind the scenes sex shit isn't.
her as a person. A lot of people would suggest that being a virgin until marriage is actually a noble thing. I'm just saying that you're saying she showed the vagina, and what I took away is, holy cow, that sounds really small, like unusually small, and I want to know about that.
I would say
There must have been something going on between David and Keem for him to have this, like, because David is like a pretty, like I said, he's like a pretty liberal guy and like seemed to be, and he's like not a locale, he's like a real guy, right? There must have been some kind of friction. But it's just like two things happened at the same time. Keem was under all this pressure, which is why he calls in here and Spurg's out. And David had some kind of beef with him. Because the way he's talking about like small vaginas and Brantley here, like I'm fully for like as far as like talking shit online, like being down in the mud and that aspect of it. Not actual like sexual acts, but like just talking shit or whatever. But this is pretty gross.
Watch the clip. I told you the episode. 100% from kid behind the camera's mouth himself. He says it.
Yeah, so
it's mind blowing.
all you guys are crazy in the chat, acting like I've done something wrong. She's showing her vagina to someone else, which I don't have a problem with either. She's a grown woman.
No, you can't have it both ways, dude. Like, you should have a problem with it. You should have a problem with it. I already explained why. It's like when you it's just
Woman, she can do whatever she wants, and I respect everybody's relationship. If that's a relationship,
We need to see this
But it's
clip.
like you can't say. What I'm saying is you can't say that this is bad that this is happening behind the scenes. Also, I don't have a problem with it. Like, why are you calling it out then? You're calling it out because you recognize there's a problem, whether it be because it's like a boss's wife type situation, or because this is a married woman who's like exposing herself to other employees in a situation where like neither of them are loyal, like neither Keemstar or Brantley are loyal. And I brought this up before, but like slut shaming is pro woman because what it does is it reaffirms the value of virtuous women. And there are like I'd say there's probably more virtuous women than unvirtuous women, just because we live in a Christian society that's been working on that for 2,000 years. But when you basically put everybody down in the mud and you say that everybody's equal no matter what they do, even when they misbehave and even when they devalue themselves by like exposing themselves like this, you are punishing and you are not giving the respect to women who actually who are virtuous.
Clip or something.
Yeah, send me the clip.
Maybe like we don't know.
And this is why like one of the worst things that happens is men who like say that they want like a girl who's like slutty or whatever, basically because they just want to get laid. It's like one of the worst things. It's so stupid. It hurts. It's like strategically very stupid. It's bad for the man because it means that you're encouraging poor behavior. You're rewarding it. And it's bad for women because again, you're basically inducing them to do bad stuff.
Can we trust this guy's
Or at least rewarding it. And it works the other way too. I mean, there are women who can reward men for bad behavior. I mean, that's what happens with like domestic abuse. And then when you like go back, you know.
The after party for her wedding, and you will see it in that episode 100%.
Butterfly says, who cares? I don't care about the drama of the LCU.
Yes, you do. You're literally a host on a drama show. You are part of Locale Live. Your entire job is to care about the drama in this universe. That's why you get paid.
Yeah. Well,
I care
this
about,
is what I'm thinking.
I care
we'll talk
about
the tiny vagina.
That's what I'm fascinated by.
I got a point about
another interesting fact.
Yeah.
That's in another video. So their video they did for Groundhog's Day. Did you watch that live stream they did where they had everybody on from all the shows?
I don't know.
All right, on that video, Brantley got really drunk, and she said that she wants to make an adult film, but that Keemstar won't let her. And so I'm thinking...
For her? What the fuck is going on here? This has gone from something that was already bad, which is Keem saying, I'm not a cuck, I just let my wife have sex with other women, and I'm just a cool, like, playboy with all the threesomes. Again, I'm doing the Ralph voice, even though this isn't Ralph, but this is like a Ralph thing, honestly. And now it's, I want to make porn. Like...
Keemstar let her make the film. Obviously, she wants people to see her vagina.
Like, what is Keem doing? What energy is Keem putting out? What kind of things is he saying that she is responding to this way? Because that's the thing. It's like, and this happened with Ricada. You know, there's this debate about who was the one who wanted the like threesome thing and the Ricada Kayla thing. And one side claims Kayla's a slut or whatever. The other side claims the opposite side of that is that Ricada wanted to open things up and Kayla became a slut for him. I don't know exactly what happened there, but this I would not be surprised if that was the case. And it's because like men take the lead and women, like, this is why I said like it's bad for men to reward poor behavior, because like it tends to influence the behavior of both genders, right? So if Brantley's talking about making porn and is showing her vagina and stuff, it makes me think that Keem is putting out some kind of energy or putting out some kind of expectation that he wants that. And, you know, after the call came out where he's talking about glazing Lynx's donut, I mean, I don't think that's unreasonable to say that this is basically Keem is putting out this expectation of like an open relationship and like hypersexual and whatever, and Brantley is just responding to it. I mean, they are like 20 years apart, right?
She did it at that camp.
Who gives a shit? I don't sex shame. I don't see anything.
Neither do I.
Yeah, I don't think anything.
What's this guy?
Honestly, the guys in the chat who are acting like this is a big deal, you guys have sex issues. There's no.
No, the people with sex issues are the ones who can't have a monogamous relationship that produces children, which built Western civilization. That's the people with sex issues. The ones who have to put out pornography of themselves, or the ones who have to have an open relationship that, as this you just said in the chat, literally always fails. Man was made to be monogamous for a reason. There's a reason why polygamous societies don't work. Okay, here's a perfect example. Muslim societies, polygamous, right? You know what happens? The top 10% of men marry 80% of women. So you have this massive overproduction of young, angry men. And then you wonder why they produce like terrorist groups that specifically like kill themselves, because men become desperate to achieve status and are willing to do anything to be one of those top 10% to get women. And nobody benefits. The women don't benefit because they don't have an exclusive partner. They just become commodified in an environment like that. The men don't benefit because they get radicalized and blow themselves up. Like, no one wins. Okay. And so like to come out here and say like, who cares? Like, none of it matters. You have sex issues. If you want a functioning society, it's like, okay, buddy.
Shame in a woman being proud of her vagina. There's no shame in a woman saying, I don't want to have sex until I'm married. There's no shame of a grown man going, I've never heard of a vagina that small. I'm fascinated by that. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
If Keemstar would let her, she's already said she would do it. So why not Keemstar let her do it? She's already claimed out loud she does.
No,
Well, that's their business. Yeah,
Bunny says
who
that's their
cares?
business. I agree. I don't care if she wants to do it and her husband doesn't want her to do it, then their relationship and how that relationship is will dictate. ETX says, did anybody in the chat see this about Brantley? I don't recall hearing or seeing any of this. Some people are saying that you're lying and you're trying to trap me. But again,
No, I am not lying.
how would I be trapped?
I
I'm
wanna
just
see the
responding to what your call.
Literally, I told you the 2 videos that you can get the information
Jack,
from.
can you
That's exactly what I thought. I thought this was a situation of a caller coming in and trying to trick him into talking shit, but it sounds like he just wants to go off.
get the
I think
videos?
100% right.
Get the time, okay, that's
It's the
fine.
live
Get the time
stream from Groundhog's Day where everybody was in and Brantley got way too drunk. And you're right, Bunny. It is their business, but they talked about it publicly. So we're allowed
Well,
to...
it becomes more people's business when you make your sex life public, and especially when you make it public in relation to the workplace. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. It can't be like Brantley showing her coochie to everybody and you're putting out a porn, but also don't talk about it.
have opinions about
At work, what is essentially a work trip.
When you're on the fucking stage, which is, I think it's been very well defined what the stages are of the locale universe. You're on the stage. It's open season to comment on your content.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I just said.
But to talk about it further, that's something I don't care about because that's their business.
those
I
are
don't
the
care.
two-
Yes, they've made it our business.
We'll prove
All
everything I
right.
said.
All right. Well, we'll look them up later. Thank you, buddy.
There we go.
Okay, here we go. He calls him.
Are you guys actually like fucking serious?
We were just now talking about your wife's vagina, sir.
Are you serious?
All right. Do we think he's drunk? Because Keemstar, he likes his little sippies. He's kind of going Ralph mode the last couple months. So I bet you I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
Because I think that's like that's so out of control.
Well, wait a minute. That's not.
Do you think I'm just going to be okay with like
do you have the
one of my
context?
shows over
Of
here saying all
course.
this shit?
Context, bro.
Oh, here's the context.
Of course I'm going to be
What's
okay.
the context of your wife's vagina?
Okay with it?
Listen,
no, I'm not okay with
well,
it.
you don't know what you're not okay with because you clearly don't have the context. Somebody called.
Come on, David.
All I know is you let some caller call into the show.
You let some caller, dude. Oh, this is Keem cockery here. These shows are built off call-ins, and you let a call in on the show. Yes, that's what people want to see. They want to see confrontation. They want to see people call in. This is what I'm talking about before. Can't we have the platform confrontations and people screaming at each other and stuff like the lolcow stuff, and not have the degenerate behind the scenes?
You saying what he called and said is not accurate. He called and said the kid behind the camera at Groundhog Day at Fat Camp because he was upset that Savage got fired for showing her vagina. And I said she did not get fired for that. She got fired because Keem had seen a bunch of evidence to suggest people weren't safe, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then he said, yes, but what about kid behind the camera on camera saying that Brantley, he had come back and seen her vagina? And I said, well, I don't really care.
Literally not true. That's literally not true.
And that's what we said.
Yeah, well, you're not really a reliable narrator, Keem.
We would have to see.
You know who could clear this up? Who I would maybe believe? Brantley. And one thing you might say is, well, you don't want to drag her into it, right? But she's put herself into it. She's part of the conversation. She was at Fat Camp. She's been on stream. I mean, infamously during the Keemstar show, she had a fucking Meltie, right? So it's like, Keem, I don't believe you. And the reason I don't believe you isn't just because you're known to lie. That is a big part of it. It's also because, of course, you're going to come in here. And when Keem comes in here and says, this didn't happen, don't think that this is him defending Brantley. This is him defending himself because he doesn't want to be a cuck.
Yeah,
And that's what we...
Who the fuck is the guy? Who's the guy?
I don't know, but he said he's going to give us a clip.
You don't know the guy that called into your show, Chaffee?
I have his...
What? This is the internet, Mujahideen. Anyone's going to call in and say whatever the fuck.
number. I can call him back.
No.
And this reminds me, another thing, I didn't pull up the clips for this. Apparently, as of yesterday, Locale Live is making you give your email, social security number, your birth date, and your birth certificate to join. It's not that far, but your personal information to join the server. This is why. This is why, so that if you say something that Keem doesn't like, he can do something with your info, right? So that next time something like this happens and Keem says, who is this guy? He can just pull it up on the server or whatever.
No, the guy that called into your show?
No, it's a phone. I don't know. I have his number. I can
It's a
find
phone.
it.
Okay, so you mean to tell me that you're letting random fucking retards call into this show and
Yes.
spew shit about my fucking future wife?
Yes, that's the name of the game. This is the sector that you've put yourself in, bud.
Absolutely.
That's what you mean to tell me? When we set up a safe fucking whole Discord so you don't have random retards calling into the show saying dumb shit.
But that is the
safe Discord so we don't have random retards.
entertainment, Keemstar.
Incredible. Exactly. Thank you, David. Go off, Ken.
I'll tell you what the fucking entertainment is.
Yeah.
You're fired. Madhouse is canceled.
Okay.
Suck a dick.
Okay, no worries. But here's what you do need to understand, though. This guy,
Here's what you need to
this guy
understand.
says,
Bye.
this guy says he has a clip, and
yeah,
so
he doesn't, retard.
So let's say,
God, you're dumb.
But let's
You're
say,
fucking dumb,
let's
Joppy.
say he does.
Yeah, well, you're not going to find out until you make him show it, right?
So Madhouse was a pretty weird and unique show, but they
Why is Boogie bald? That's how far out of the touch I have not watched a show in 6 months, and Boogie is bald.
kept fucking up. So they shit canned it because David has fuck you money. And I don't know David that well, but I think he's used to not hearing the word no really often and not getting.
What, so he's based and a king because he says whatever the fuck he wants? Like, I don't even agree with David on a lot of this. I just spent 20 minutes trashing him for his, like, it doesn't matter if you're a slut take, but, like, that's base that he's just like, I'm going to say what I'm going to say, bitch. Like,
told what he can and can't do. So he did a lot of dumb shit. He had like a failed trip that he tried to take, and that's fine. He talked about this or that here and there. He pushed the limits of what was acceptable in the network. And then
pushed the limits of what's acceptable in the network, i.e. let a caller come on and make a claim about Keemstar's wife. Incredible.
And in this last week, on 2 different scenarios.
I like to see someone call in and just straight up say Boogie's a pedophile. You think that guy's gonna get banned? Like, no, they don't care.
He talked about Brantley, the boss's, the owner's fiance, talked about her vagina.
Talked about Mass's wife living up in the big house.
And or fucking it. Specifically, he had an 800 number where you could call in and get on his show, which is a bad idea.
No, it's based. It's based.
Filters in place to make sure that you're not going to come on.
Yeah, and make sure that you don't come on and be too entertaining.
And just shout the N-word a bunch of times. And
okay, I get that. I mean, I'm an N-word enjoyer, but I get that for YouTube, you've got to have some kind of like filter or whatever. But there are ways to allow to have like an open number and not get TOS. Okay.
More importantly, you're not going to come in and talk about the boss's girl's fiancés. We're not going to talk about Brantley's private parts, which common sense is going to dictate. I think the boss tried to set him down and be like,
remember when they had an arc on the show where Boogie peed his pants? I just like you to think about that while we talk about how we're not allowed to talk about Brantley.
Hey man, an 800 number line is bad. Don't talk about my fiance's sex life or vagina. That's for her to talk about. Don't bring in, when this is specifically what severed everything. Someone called in on the 800 number and said a bunch of misinformation that Brantley once said on our show that she wanted to be a porn star. So he brought somebody in and they were spreading misinformation. They talked about Brantley having a small body part. They talked about Michael having
small body part.
That body part. They talked about Brantley wanting to be a porn star and saying that on our live show. Well, Michael never said that. So that was a lie. Michael never saw it. Michael's never said he saw it, even when he was drunk. Brantley never said she wanted to be a porn star.
Well, technically what the guy claimed is that in a clip at Glammy's wedding, you can hear Kit behind a camera or whoever say that he saw it. So you can't say he's never claimed he saw it if there is a clip. And that's all David Jaffe was doing. He wanted him to play the clip to like explore the claim, right?
What we believe that guy was alluding to is that when during a drunk stream with Keem and Brantley said she always wanted to make a sex tape with her man, but her man knows that's a bad idea, so he says no because he can't let that shit be out in the world, right?
Well,
dude, imagine.
You're misrepresenting everything. I put out multiple different posts and statements on our announcements, which you could refer to, but
okay, I'll refer to those then.
I guess you're.
Wait, so Boogie just comes in here. He does full sweep god. He gets out the industrial tier broom and starts like eating the poop off the floor. And Keem comes in and says, "That's all wrong. That's all wrong. That's not good enough." Like,
just deciding to make up whatever happened here. There's a person in chat. His name is Cap D Mac, who keeps saying that Keemstar made a crazy overreaction. Feel free to call in, bud. I don't think you will call in.
Hold on. I thought we weren't supposed to let people call in because they might say crazy shit, and that actually we need to vet everybody. Now you're telling some rando, and you're getting one guide in chat, and you want him to call in?
No, but you are in fact a member, so you should have access to the Discord.
How's that any different than what David did?
Because I'd love to have a conversation with you, face to face. I've been hearing
face to face. Okay, let's go, Ralph Mail. I'll slit your throat, Josh.
That I can't deal with Jaffe because he's not a yes man, and that's the conflict.
No, that's stupid.
And, that kind of seems like what happened.
No one seems to mentioning the whole like complete destruction of character that was done on his show around Brantley with multiple slanderous things.
I think people are talking about it, and honestly, there would have probably been people who defended Brantley because that's just the way it works. There's always going to be some people who defend it, and you could have let that play out. Or you could have had Brantley make a statement considering, again, she's already in this. This wouldn't be like taking a character who's outside and forcing them in.
Said that all these...
Instead, you like had a chimp out, banned the channel, said you don't want callers, then told the caller to call in. And then had Boogie sweep the floor and tell him he's like...
Clips to back up his wildest slanderous claims were on Rewind, which would mean if they were true and they were on Rewind, David Jaffe, Bunny, and Tech would already know about them. Everyone here would know about them, but they played stupid like they might still be true.
Yep.
Just so like Brantley.
Well, I think they are true now. Like you could have let David Jaffe go through this thing. We would have seen the clip and maybe we would have judged for ourselves or whatever. And then after the stream, maybe you have Brantley say something. But now I think it is true because you're having a massive like cuck rage. you're having massive cuck rage where now you're talking about fighting essentially face to face, right? Fighting IRL random chatters.
Would be embarrassed more, would be attacked more. There was no pushback from the host when you watch it. I just call in, bud. Just call in. If you really think it's like an overreaction, call in. Let's have a conversation about it.
Yeah, please do.
I want to hear you defend this stuff. It's going to be hilarious. The difference is when you call in, you're going to have a username. You're not going to be an anonymous person. That's the difference. You're going to actually have.
Okay, so yeah, this connects to what I was saying. This is why he changed the policy in the Discord to have personal information so that when people call in, they have to do it with their real name. That's so fucking gay.
To stand by your opinion that it was an overreaction.
That's so
gay.
gay.
Don't talk about the situation because you don't know how to talk about it.
Okay.
Dude, they're going to get so much shit for that because if there's one thing that the Internet Mujahideen, which is what I call the chat for like the sector, hate, it's forced de-anonymization.
Just said something along the lines where what Brantley said is that she wanted to make a sex tape with her man.
I believe that's what I believe she said during
and Keem knows that's a bad idea because he wouldn't want the world to see it. Okay, by saying it that way, you make it seem like Brantley wanted to make a tape to release to the world.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah, well, that's what making a porno is, but
yeah, but that's the way it sounds.
I said
this is hold on, time out. Excuse me, I'm still talking. Okay. That's how you.
It's like in the debate the other day with Ralph. It's like, shut the fuck up! A real N-word's talking.
You said it.
Except way
again,
less
you don't know how to
based.
talk about the situation. I put out multiple statements. Refer to that.
Because this comes up
now you're just
when Ralph said that it was like King energy. As bad as Ralph is, I'm sorry, he can play the character, right? But when Keem says this, it's just like, stop bullying my wife online.
It's misleading people even more.
I swear, I'm not a cock.
Leave it with this, okay? Brantley is not that type of person. Keem is not that type of person. I have no clue how the fuck you guys got to that idea. Fuck anybody who thinks that. You're fucking wrong. That's what I'm trying to say.
He doesn't think it. The guy was literally doing character assassination, lying on purpose, excuse me, and Madhouse was facilitating the fucking character assassination.
If it was an obvious lie, then why'd you spurg out? Like, again, this is like the lady doc protests too much at this point.
True.
Even though they knew the shit wasn't true.
True.
That's the issue. No one's thinking this. It's just a blatant fucking slanderous lie.
That's true.
Apologize.
Well, anyway, I apologize if I misrepresented Brantley in any way there, or Keem.
You did. Stop talking about it unless you know what you're fucking saying.
Yeah, well, anyway, I think it's a justified firing regardless. And I think it's a good idea to part ways based on it. And if I'm wrong about that, I'll take that L.
Well, yeah, I cannot work with someone that's that irresponsible.
Oh, you don't like when people may put out misinformation about you and your fiance?
Okay. So, as he always does, RTU, who has no relation to the situation anymore since being kicked off of Tech Talk, he's just like, time to insert myself and say what I assume is going to be the stupidest fucking thing possible, right? Because that's what he does for everything. Like, whenever there's a situation that has nothing to do with him or wouldn't affect him at all, he goes through all of the timelines like Doctor Strange, and it's like, what's the dumbest thing I could say right now? Whether it be the Dropbox ship, or breaking up and getting back together with Jay 6 times, or going on the original Locale Tech Talk where he signed, like I said, like some Scientology type contract with Keem.
Your fiance, you don't like it, do you? You don't like when people dig into your personal life. You had no fucking problem doing it with me, though. Fuck you. I am glad Locale is failing. Your ego, fucking
kind of right. I mean, I think it was based like them trolling RTU, bringing what's her face? Insane lady, Betty Boop on. And honestly, the best part of that arc was that Betty Boop is as bad as RTU. Like, that was a great situation where there was no good guy. Like, you could just be like, both these people are dumb and just watch the trash fire, right? I didn't really feel bad for either of them. The situation is a little different, though, because the Betty Boop thing was not public, whereas Brantley doing all this was, like, supposedly a clip on a live stream and stuff, right?
Daniel Trump is so fucking fragile that arguably the most stable show under your umbrella, you banned because someone called in with hearsay about your fucking child bride's vagina. You are such a hypocritical, insecure.
Might not want to say it's a child bride, Rich, or else we're going to have to look at the Dropbox.
Or fucking piece of garbage. I hate you and everything you've ever done. He nuked an entire channel over like I don't think he's had any other issues with Jeff.
I mean, he's right here. That is a total overreaction. I thought I'd never say that RT was right about something, but here we are.
Think about that. It's funny how when the shoe's on the other foot, motherfucker.
This aspect of it is gay, him being like, it's good for thee and not for me. It's like that's not really how this works. But he is right that he overreacted.
Butthurt. You with me, you had people coming on saying false shit, making me out to be like some fucking psychotic predator. Oh man,
you're not a psychotic predator. You're just retarded, bud.
It actually makes me angrier. It doesn't even give me like satisfaction.
Okay, so there's another video from this clip channel of I want to see if this is the same shit. I think it is.
Wait, I'm gonna give a super chat real quick. Not a super fucking sticker. Fine, send.
Hey, Rich is here. Come on in, Rich. You should have come in. We're all the like I said, the abandoned kids. No, Rich.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Yeah, this is
I'm gonna give a
different.
super
All
chat
right.
real quick.
This is
Not
him
a super
talking to
fucking
David.
sticker. A super chat. Keemstar wants to sue you.
Dude, classic Keemstar. The big Bungie video really put this well, where it's like Keemstar is all like, I love edgy shit, say whatever you want, until something hits him, and then he becomes the world's biggest snitch, talking about TOSs and lawsuits.
Hey, Rich is here. Come on in, Rich. You should have come in. We're all the like I said, the abandoned kids. No, Rich Keemstar doesn't want to sue me. At least I hope not. I mean, he can. He's welcome to try. You can sue anybody for anything, is what I learned. But it's a waste of your money if somebody you're suing didn't do shit.
I can't message him. I'll talk to him now. I want to have him on the show. If someone can hit him up, I can't hit him up right now because they're in subscribers only mode. David Jaffe and their viewers just joined. Hello, David.
You're better off not knowing. These are not prime cows. RTU he's long in the tooth.
I would love to have you on, man. We'll talk. It's just with what Keemstar put me through, where he dug into my personal life and just basically threw my name through the mud, destroyed my character, tricked a woman who was willingly tricked. I'm not giving her any credit.
She was not tricked. She knew exactly what she was doing, and that has been proven many times, and by her behavior afterwards.
Putting out revenge porn on me. You say that Brantley has a small vagina.
I think he's just talking. This is what Keem does, is whenever he gets pushed into a corner, he clutches his pearls and makes threats like this.
And he has a small dick and that's a bridge too far. Oh, he could go.
The problem is David actually has money, which was talked about before, so he would actually be able to defend himself. Now, you could also say that because he has money, it means that there's actually something to take if you win. But also, what would it be? Defamation? I covered earlier in this stream a little bit about defamation, about the elements. And there's another one of my videos where I went over the Razor Fist, him threatening defamation. And that was for Canada, but I went over the elements of defamation. Like, none of this is defamation.
Fuck himself. He can go fuck himself. And I will be delighted to talk about it. And I hope he fucking watches it. He could dish it out, but he can't take it. And I'm like, oh, really? When I'm sitting here, they're attacking my character. They're attacking my soon-to-be wife. I'm like, I seem to remember you saying you just wanted to destroy me and you just didn't give a fuck. But when it's about, and you know what the thing that makes it even more fucked up?
Yeah, but that's what everybody wants. I hate when these guys pretend like that's what it's not about. These guys are all just egos on the internet who want to like toss poo at each other. And that's fine. It's entertaining. It's cool. But don't pretend like you're part of some crusade. Then you become like Hassan, who you think that every video you make, you save a Palestinian child.
About him because he's such a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit, Keemstar. Is that and people? I'm going to clip it and send it to him. Here, send this to him on a fucking thumb drive and shove it up his ass. You're a hypocritical piece of shit, and you have two different standards. And I think you're self-aware of this, but you just think you're powerful and have money, so you could do it. I don't care. You're a piece of fucking garbage. You have two different standards. It's rules for thee, not for me. So fuck you.
Yeah, I just said that.
Fuck your wife and go eat shit. Fuck you and your fucking stupid.
Oh, he's mad. It's funny too because RTU's whole beef with Keemstar is entirely self-induced. Like they had this beef because of the Betty Boop thing. Then RTU turned and then went and signed a crazy contract with Keem to work for him, assumingly forgiving him for all that other shit. Then he broke the contract and left. It's like, again, he's like Doctor Strange looking at all the outcomes. How do I fuck myself over the most possible?
Child bride trophy wife. You didn't care about me. You didn't care about my family. You just cared about getting views on that stupid shit.
It's not his job to care about your family. It's your job. And there's a lot that could be said about that, Rich.
Show that's now failing, and I enjoy that too, for your own personal gain, and you wanted to destroy me because I may have actually...
Dude, look how life could go up in flames, and Keem would still be worth 16 million times what you are. If we're just going to compare money here, obviously money's not everything. There's like a virtue question, but neither of these guys are virtuous.
He had a solid case. If I could get a lawyer to even not hang up on me as soon as I said defamation, excuse me, now I'll receive oxygen.
Yeah, I wonder why they do that.
To go after you. Fuck you and fuck everything about you and fuck that stupid floppy cock boogie for white knighting for you. And the only reason he does
fuck boogie
is because once that show is done, which it will end because it's already failing, he is a guy who faked cancer. No one will watch him. No one will watch him. Maybe they will for a while because it'll be a worse meltdown than when he divorced his wife. Hey,
well, what the ideal scenario is the show eventually peters out, and then Boogie, because he can't get views on the main channel because he abandoned it and he's not getting money from Locale Live, has to come up with increasingly torturous and insane ways to get attention. Until eventually he like agrees to go to the Philippines and have himself crucified. Because there are like Christians in the Philippines who like try to recreate Christ's crucifixion as like a symbol of sacrifice. I'm not really sure about the theological like orthodoxy of that. It kind of seems a little sacrilegious, but you know, the ideal is that Bookie runs out of enough like attention and money that he does something insane like that. To get any of it back.
Infuriates me. The hypocrisy infuriates me. You arrogant son of a bitch. Fuck you. And by all means, all the people are clip it and send it to him. Here's me smiling as you send it. Motherfucker. Should have listened to myself. Again, the people had my best interest up, but I'm like, you're talking about Daniel Keem. So I'm like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'd be a good idea to do this show. Oops. It pissed me off, man. And I'm sitting there, this is like what David Jaffe said is really a nothing burger. It's the locale universe. Oh no.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, he said Brentley has a small vagina. Even if the video didn't exist, who cares? How much misinformation is put around the whole Yolocow universe? I can confirm. So he says your wife has a small...
Well, that's why I bring up the orthodoxy of it. I don't think it's actually doctrinally Roman Catholic. Obviously, the Philippines is a majority Roman Catholic country, but that specific practice of recreating the crucifixion, I actually don't think that is doctrinally sound within Roman Catholicism.
Pussy and you have a small dick and your ego got bruised and it's a bridge too far? Fuck you.
You get a lot of weird syncretism like that also in places like Brazil.
Seriously, fuck off, insecure, hypocritical, probably bisexual bastard. And I don't care he's bisexual, but he does. He does. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. He does. How can I not have hostility? How can I not? And everyone's like, Rich, I understand whatever differences you have with Keems, like differences is an understatement, but maybe the show could be something good. And it wasn't, just like I predicted it wasn't going to be. And Lauren's like, yeah, you were right. Yeah,
well, that wasn't a hard prediction to make, that the show was, all this stuff was going to crash and burn. Like, come on, Rich.
Like, Lauren is great with business stuff, but I read people. You know what I'm saying? And
okay. You had me there for a minute, RTU. I was like, okay, you're spitting a little bit. Now we're getting into the I read people. Okay.
I've known, me and Keem have had our back and forth since like 2015. I know what he's about, and yeah. I mean, I even heard rumors that when that stupid bitch that he tricked into sending literally revenge porn about me, this is alleged, I don't know, but he had, whoever had it after her, she's a piece of work too, release it from Canada, allegedly. I'm not 100% sure, but this is what I heard, so he wouldn't have to face legal repercussions. And David Jaffe has a few minutes where he's talking about your wife's fucking kitty and your fucking tapeworm dick, and that's you nuke the whole channel. God, you're so insecure. It's so fucking annoying.
True.
It's not even funny. I don't find it humorous that you did that.
I do. I think it's pretty funny, but yeah.
You're a hypocrite, and you suck. Deal with it. And it's just like, look at all the awful stuff other people did. Did he nuke channels over that? Did he nuke channels over the shit that Becky did?
Nope. Exactly. This is what I was bringing up with like Boogie pissing himself and stuff. Like, worse stuff is happening.
Talk about his dick? Mm-mm. Oh, you don't like people talking about your soon-to-be wife? You don't like people talking about your family? But you had no problem talking about mine to get back at me, you motherfucker. Excuse me, I just had to get a few things off my chest there.
Wow, that's one of the best clips I've ever seen from RTU, and that's saying something. Usually he's just complete, like I said, complete fool. I think that's all we got for drama for today. I'm going to get back to Medieval 2. We are saving Sneed Jerusalem. I'm going to take a piss first.
War. It is no stranger to men of faith, who are driven to fight with a fury no king or sultan can inspire. From across the sands and the seas, they fight for the Holy Lands, to ensure the hell that is their lives will grant their passage into heaven.
So last time I played this, I put the music at maximum because the music is better than any commentary I could provide, but it's still a little high. You could like barely hear me, so. Baldwin. You know, for as good as King Baldwin was, kind of an L having a name like Baldwin. Okay, we had just taken this fort. We need to not get trapped in this fort with our whole army. We need to send reinforcements over to replace some of the stuff in here that we were going to have to retrain.
My lord.
Really? What are we looking at here? Peasants. Okay, let's go.
Sire, marching to war.
Yeah.
The
Run
day
away.
is ours, sire. To
Okay, that
war
army
then,
right there,
sire.
that is a problem.
Yes, sire. We bring the battle.
We might need to put together something bigger. Because we might be, I don't know what the, it depends on what's in that army. We could potentially win, but it might, if the point of this is a reinforcement convoy, you know, might obviate the whole expedition. All right, what racist thing are we going to say in this speech?
Through God's grace and the intercession of St. George, we have been brought to this place, brought here to fight for his glory and in his name. Our enemies must quail before our righteous might. We would do well to pray, because the shedding of blood is an offense, but it is one that we willingly do, for by it we establish God's peace. Our foes are rebels and traitors. They deserve nothing but the edge of a blade upon their stinking necks. And a sword is a merciful end to them, for they should face the gallows. And so, let's be at it. I would dine soon, and a battle gives me a goodly appetite. I trust
You might get man of the hour here, which is when you get a new general from winning a battle with that one. That would be nice. All right, we don't want to be on the slope here. We want to be at the top. If I recall correctly, they have like one real unit and a peasant, and then something else. Come up here. Alright, what are we looking at? Peasants, militia. Okay, just basically militia. Alright, we won't even need the infantry for this. We're just gonna come at them from both sides of the cavalry, shock the morale, and they should break. Okay, okay. Really, dude? Wanna... Yes, allow yourself to be surrounded. This is how you win. If you kill your enemies, you lose, as Trudeau said. You want to leave them a route to escape, so they don't fight to the death. That's what this red thing means. It means they can't run away. So we're going to pull this guy
The battle
back.
is very much in our favor. If we remain true and steadfast,
So they can run away.
the enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men. The enemy
And
army
there we go.
flees the field. Pursue and run
And
them
we
down.
run them down.
This is
Alright, well that was the easy one. The hard one is going to be the one after this. Point that I think I'm going to... Yeah, see, we got Man of the Hour, just like I said. And he's a level 2, that's good.
Hail my king.
It's kind of better than I expected.
Honor, sire.
Let's see here. Who does not have a general?
Hail my king. Hail my king. Hail my king. Hail my king.
Hail my king.
My lord. As you wish.
This guy's very loyal, hailing me over and over again.
Orders, my lord. Orders. Joining forces.
Alright, this army should be good enough now in case he attacks that. Really like to get to the point that I can retrain, but it's not gonna happen for a little while. Oh, and he's blockading me. Okay. Where are my ships?
Ships ready.
Probably don't have enough there.
Hail my king.
Yes, hail my king. Okay? I got it. Your loyalty is not in question.
My lord. How may I serve, Sultan? Sire.
Wait, that guy just called me a sultan. I guess because he's a Turkopol.
Yes, sire. We can go no further.
Yes, wander into the desert, diplomat.
Entering woods and preparing to ambush, my lord.
Who is entering the woods? Oh, this guy.
As you wish.
Oh wow, we barely made that. Okay, here we go.
I will not waste words on you.
Who's in charge of this? No one? No. So these two are dismounted ghouls. These are a problem. Horse archers, kind of a problem, although I think we have a Turkopol now and we have 2 archers. These guys are heavy. These are whatever. These are like literal mujahideen. Okay, we could win. Alright,
Hail
Barnaby
my
Stafford. You made your bones on the battlefield. Let's see. Confident attacker, good. Loyal, fair fighter, religious. Well, you better be in this environment.
As you will, my king. To battle. Muster your courage, men. We march into battle. Heard men speak well of me because I do not throw lives away needlessly.
True, you did win that last battle, losing almost no one.
I will not use false modesty and deny these things. Indeed, I say proudly that they are true. I will give you victory, if you have the guts to fight like devils when I ask it. Our Egyptian foes should pray to their god, as shortly they will be judged before him. We will send them all to heaven or hell soon enough. I see the foe dare not fight as man.
Yes, the woman's strategy of throwing things. They always say this in the speeches because they always have archers.
And now, say your last prayers. Put your trust in your fellows and in good steel too. Then let us march to whatever God wills.
True. Man plans, God laughs. Alright. Alright, Barnaby. Let's see if you're going to make a name for yourself here in the Holy Land. Now that you've gone from common soldier to, general. I'm going to be over here on the hill. Let's get together. Again, what we want, the ideal is that they waste their arrows shooting at our heavy infantry here. But we actually have some tools this time. We have 1 Turkopol, and I think we have 2 archers, foot archers. We're gonna want to protect these. Put them right in front. So, because in this one, the plunging, unlike in the new one, where you can always just shoot from behind, in this one, the plunging arrows are really bad. You want to shoot directly at them, which is like, you know, makes more sense realistically. But what we want is for their cavalry, their horse archers, to come over here and try to shoot at us, and our foot archers shoot back, because foot archers will actually do better. Well, they might do better. It's possible they won't if they're like really good horse archers. But I think one of our archers here is Maronites of Lebanon. Maronites are Maronite Christians. They used to be the majority in Lebanon until they got all killed. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Even as late as 1900. I mentioned this in the debate with Hassan, that Christians like the Maronites in the Near East are just generally completely like erased from history in a lot of narratives. Okay. What's he doing? Okay, those are like cavalry. Probably, I'm not really worried about them. Looking out for his horse archers. It's right here. I actually prefer he come from this angle, if that's the way he's going to do this. But I think we're going to need to march on him. So we're going to change our angle here a little bit. Want to get to this hilltop and see how he responds. And we're just gonna walk. Don't need to waste our time running. Stamina is a lot more important in this one than the other ones. In the other ones there is stamina if it gets down to low, but it's really hard to get your units down to low stamina in the newer games. At least it feels that way to me. I don't know if the math actually works out that way. It's probably one of our more evenly matched battles so far. He actually has some good units here. He doesn't have a general though, which is it's gonna hurt him. And I think it's because I killed a lot of his generals already. I killed his heir, I know that. Okay, Mamluk archers, these are good. Because they can actually fight in melee. Not quite as good as my knights, but like good enough. I get up a little closer here. I want my archers at a moment's notice to be able to run away. Okay, let's come around. We don't want to get squoze before these two blocks here, but I do want to herd these archers away from the battle. And I want these guys to be able to stand up here. They'll have to run uphill, but that's just sort of the nature of this battlefield, the terrain. Okay, so we're taking their archers out. That's good. Keep this guy in reserve so that he can either go this way or that way, depending on how things go. Our Turkopals are not going to win this shoot-off here because there's two of them, and the Mamluk cavalry is actually good. No, we don't want to charge. The minute we charge, they're gonna run away. We want to get as close as we can without charging. It's just the way the AI works. Okay, here we go. He's committing. Go, go. There we go. Look, he's already breaking. Okay. Okay, no, but his cavalry is coming now. Okay, we gotta be careful here. I don't want to lose my archers. Yeah, this is why we kept these guys here. To counter something like this. Shoot.
The battle is very much in our favor. If we remain true and
okay, we're behind them here. We're gonna let these Mamluk
out.
archers continue harassing us to take the advantage of this position. Okay, and then they're gonna harass us over here, but we can't really do anything about that right now. Okay, come back, come back. Don't get into long-term combat with these guys. Come back. Let's start moving our infantry. Now they're starting to come at us. Let's do a charge here. This right here, this is a problem. They're in a wedge. Okay. Looks like we broke their charge here. Okay, here we go. They committed their infantry right here. This is a perfect chance to jump in. Here on the side. Go. Look, we got these guys in position to come in the rear. Just trying to break their morale. Prevent them from reinforcing.
Heavy cavalry. Heavy infantry.
There we go. Okay, their heavy infantry's fleeing. Gotta keep it up because this kind of heavy infantry can turn around.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men. The enemy general has no honor. He flees the field of battle and abandons his...
Good job, Barnaby. I think you have a future in the Holy Land, Barnaby.
George, we've captured the enemy's general. That'll teach the cowardly dog to turn tail and run. He can rest at our leisure.
Come on. Every guy you run down now is a
The
guy we
enemy
don't have to
army
fight
flees
later.
the field. Pursue and run them down.
All right.
All of Christendom will be awed by the victory we have
Look
won
at
here
this!
today.
Look at this crazy victory Mr. Stafford has won. He was but a foot soldier last turn. All right, look at these Mamluk archers. Ghazis, 100 of them, 52. Look at these guys. Got a couple good ones too. Dismounted Ghulams, these are worth a lot. 4,000 gold. How much do we have? 8?
Glory, honor, victory.
Did he get a
Hail
trait?
my king.
Disrespects prisoners.
Hail my king.
Did they sign that's Geneva? Did they sign the international Christian understanding on ransoming prisoners? I don't think so. Maybe they did. All right, merchant.
your service.
I still don't know how to optimize merchants in this game, having played it for 15 years. Is there gold? What is this? Sulfur? No. Glassware? I just try to pick the good that looks the coolest. Oh, here's gold. I don't know there's gold out in the middle of the desert like this. Oh, this one's 64. Let's go for that.
Tomorrow's journey awaits, sire.
You could really use a governor for Banyas.
Hail my king. Making camp here.
Hail
noble
my
sire.
king. Turkopoles. I was talking about this with a friend, but it is funny that the Turkopoles are units that you directly recruit because, like, horse archers take like an entire lifetime to train, which is why usually for non-horse archer steppe civilizations you have to hire them. You can't just train them. And so like the way it really should be is that you can get horse archers as Jerusalem, you just have to hire them as mercenaries. The game has a mercenary system, so and the Crusaders did have, like, Turkopoles are a real thing. They're just mercenary Turks. That's what it means. Yeah, you're gonna need more than that, buddy. Betrothed, King Baldwin with Beatrice Despenser. Sure. Third Crusade launched. That's me. Hi. Someone got the default name.
Hail, my king. With honor, sire.
There we go. Now we can. Okay, so this fort isn't terrible. We can retrain already. I thought I was gonna have to build this place up from the ground up to be able to start retraining guys.
I will
But
not waste words on hail, my king.
we're already basically there.
Sibni Lawadi, infidel.
You want to kill these rebels because when they stand on the road like this, they disrupt like inter-province trade. Wonder if I remember how to actually show that. Okay, so trade. There we go. Trade summary. So look, it's trades between. Look, here's all the imports and exports, imports and exports. I bet you if I kill that rebel, this will go up. Let's find out. Well, actually, farming income, good harvest. So let's just look at trade. So 295.
Orders.
What unit is this? Spear militia.
Sire. Order as you wish, sire.
Oh, Captain Paul, 4 stars. Let's
The day is
go.
ours, sire.
All right, this is perfect. I'm sending Captain Paul up to Banyas because I said I needed a guy up there.
Leaving the army, my lord. By your
All right, let's see if we
command.
make more money now. Yep, look, 425. It's because he blocks the trade going this way. That's why you want to kill the rebel. Even if like they're small like that and you know they're not going to besiege you, you do want to clear your land up of rebels. I mean, that almost doubled our income.
Sibni Lawadi.
Speaking of which, we should kill this guy. We'll let Captain Paul do it.
My sultan with an order.
Paul Morgan. Must be Scottish. Social drinker. Yeah, he's Scottish.
Hail, my king.
What was that? One of my guys get assassinated? Oh. Hold on, we got the Crown of Thorns? You're just gonna put that in an event? Also, I should have sent King Baldwin to Egypt. This guy's like 10 stars. I don't know why I didn't. I should have known that he was good. Maybe I still can. I mean, this guy's good too, but like, holy shit. Look at this. This guy's Alexander the Great. And he's got the Crown of Thorns. I'll send him with the next reinforcement convoy. Alright, we are actually having money problems now. Which is not... a lot of it is construction, okay. Well, a lot of it is this construction right here, building huge stone walls. Alright, let's focus on money then. Wine. It's also because of this. This needs to stop. Go away. Dies. Well...
Engaging the enemy fleet. Sire, we should disengage. The enemy shows no mercy.
That was my bad.
My king.
I kind of don't want to assault this fort when he's got 3 dismounted golems like this. Yeah, I think I'm not going to. It's kind of a noob move for me to do that, but whatever.
Hail, my king. As you command, my liege.
I don't think we need to fight this one. Yeah. You gotta be careful sometimes. Sometimes the auto resolve can really screw you up.
Honorable, glorious
You kind of just have to
victory.
like know what the right
Hail, my
battles look
king.
like. So let's get the Turcopoles in here and the
How may I
mercenaries.
serve, Sultan? Yes. Joining forces, my lord.
And this guy.
Merging armies, my lord.
Let's merge. The other reason why you want to merge is because it ends up meaning that you pay less upkeep. Because look, so this guy's 157 upkeep. Oh, so it does scale with the size, but I think it scales like well if you merge guys.
Hail, my king.
You also just want big units and not a bunch of small ones because then they're harder to break.
Sire. Order. Yes. forces, my lord.
Orders.
Merging armies. Hail my
All right,
king.
Barnaby, you're taking the lead.
Hail my king.
We're watching your career
As
with
you
great
will, my
interest,
king.
young Skywalker.
At your service.
That's the second time he's tried to assault that fort and lose. This is why I don't want to assault the fort, because it just costs so much to do.
Heeding the call of Christendom, two of Europe's greatest kings, Richard I of England and Philip II of France, have arrived in the Holy Land, ready to lead the Third Crusade to glory and help restore the Kingdom of Heaven.
In real life, this crusade was kind of a disaster. It did save the Kingdom of Jerusalem, which was going to fall otherwise, but
Yes, my lord.
basically the Holy Roman Emperor drowned in a river before he got to the Holy Land. So the entire German contingent, which was the biggest one, fell apart. Richard and Louis, the French and the British king, sieged Acre and retook it, and then basically declared victory and left without retaking Jerusalem. Or I think they may have, but they negotiated for it. The point is that they didn't get done what they had initially planned, and it wasn't, despite mobilizing so much of Europe, being definitely the most successful mobilization since the First Crusade. They didn't get a lot done. Okay, so we got Richard the Lionheart here. I think, yeah, look, these guys get Louis. Or Philip, sorry.
Hail my king.
It's interesting that they don't give you a trebuchet. Famously, Richard showed up with two trebuchets. One called War Wolf and one called Bad Neighbor. I think War Wolf is in there. I know Bad Neighbor is in there, which, it's a funny name.
With honor, sire.
Trebuchet would make a bad neighbor.
My lord. An order.
Okay.
Yes. Orders.
Get him, Paul.
We shall slaughter them, my lord. Victory! Nothing can stop us, sire. Command me, sire.
Should be able to kill him next turn.
They'll wish they'd never been born, sire.
Okay, we're kind of surrounded here. Do you have
Hail
Night
my
Fighter?
king.
He does not. That is unfortunate.
Hail my king.
You want Night Fighter because if you attack at night, then they can't call in reinforcements. Hero of Christendom. We'll send him in.
Hail my king.
I believe in you, Barnaby, but this guy can be your supervisor for this battle.
Signor.
Hail my king. Splitting forces, my lord. As you wish. Hail my king. As you command,
See?
my liege.
Now we don't have to fight the reinforcements.
Glory to your name, sire. We attack.
Did you just read that quote about Saladin beating the Holy Cross with clubs? I love this whole stupid narrative that Kingdom of Heaven, the movie, created, that Saladin was some kind of tolerant polygod. It's no, this was a war of religions with distinct, mutually exclusive visions of the
But
world.
it is not my way to send men into needless peril or throw lives away. Be assured, I will not ask any more of you than I would ask of myself. I ask only that you fight with honor and do not turn your back to the foe. Together, then, we will have victory, for such is to my taste and my custom in battle. Our foes today are masters of falsehood and trickery. These Egyptians doubtless have plans to win the day, but they are fools to believe that they can prevail against brave men. With God's good graces, we shall strike down a quarter of our enemy's army today. Courage
Wow,
will be
this is a
our
quarter of his
watchword.
army.
despair theirs. Trust our foes to come ill-prepared. Well, we shall take advantage of their lack of spears, and use our horsemen to full advantage. You know me. I have slain many heretics, pagans, heathens, and malefactors for our mother church. I stand with you now as a man of war, your general, who would lead you to another victory in God's name. Let us go forth and conquer!
Alright, pretty flat.
General's bodyguard! Heavy cavalry! Units, march! Heavy cavalry! Units, march!
Keep one cavalry here. I generally don't like to keep any cavalry behind the infantry because you don't want them to run through the infantry. It just slows them down and messes up the charge. And you want to charge from multiple directions, not just everyone up front. But in case there's... You never know when you like get out of position. You might need them. With the infantry. The infantry, obviously, since they're slower, if they get out of position, it's way harder to fix. Alright, what do we got here? 2 missile cavalry. That's fine. Okay, he's got mostly infantry here. That's new. Most of his armies have been very cavalry heavy. No, 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 no fire arrows. You don't want fire arrows. You only want fire arrows if you're trying to destroy siege equipment. Because turning on fire arrows makes the archers less accurate, and so they end up doing less damage than the damage bonus that the fire arrows give. Do you have any heavy infantry? Yeah, they do. Focus on them. Well, actually, I'm just gonna let them pick targets. Oh, wow, I'm surprised he didn't just run away there. And I would have to chase this guy all the way across the battlefield. Interrupting, talking over. Yeah, I know. It's... I use, like, exaggerated language with Ralph and say he's a king or whatever just because he's so freaking over the top. The thing is, you gotta think about these people like, they're not real people.
The battle is very much in our favor.
Otherwise, you'll, you know, if you take it personally, like, people, that's how you, like, get too invested and get angry. But Ralph's life is Ralph's life. None of us can do anything about it, other than, I guess, enjoy the show. Doesn't mean like he's a good guy, far from it, but... Okay, we got, I'm surprised they're able to catch the horse archers there. Usually they just run away. You literally have to chase them across the entire map. It's so annoying. This is a mistake from him too. Letting these infantry get pulled out like this. I mean, I'm just gonna let them run around the battlefield before I charge at them. Let them get exhausted, then they'll break. This is more what I was used to, is the cavalry running away and you can't catch it. And since our cavalry is heavy, it gets tired way faster. These dismounted golems, I just do not want to fight these guys head to head. I wanted to shoot them with my arrows. Yeah, since he doesn't have... Well, he has cavalry, it's just not doing anything. Or at least I broke 2 of them. He's just sort of stuck here. And he has some archers, but luckily I actually have archers this battle, and they were doing pretty well. Are doing pretty well. But they were able to win the archer war. This is why you need like a balanced army in this game, because you just have only heavy infantry or only archers or whatever. It leaves like such a massive weakness. You have only archers, they'll just charge at you with whatever cavalry they have, and you lose, you just die. You have only infantry, this is what happens. You sit here and you can't do anything. Because you just get shot to death, essentially. It takes a while, but it'll happen eventually. And you get, like, outmaneuvered. You know, I have my cavalry all over the place. Like, look at these two guys out here doing that. I could just charge and kill these guys at any moment. They run away. I will demonstrate. You hit him right in the side, and they'll probably, assuming they actually hit the charge. that was a fail. You see what I mean, though? Look, they're already breaking just from you being around them. And then if you have only cavalry, the problem with that is you get shot to death.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
By like whatever archers they have, and you think, well, then why don't they just charge at your archers? Well, if you have a balanced force composition, then they want you to charge at their archers, because then you're charging right into their spears, and then you die. So you really need like all three parts. And a lot of the later games are not like that. You can kind of just have all archers, like especially in Warhammer, Total War Warhammer, you can have all archers, and there's not enough punishment for that. I think it's time. Now that we're pretty much. Oh shit! Our jerk poles are out of. Damn it. You see, the reason he's walking back here is
The
because
enemy are badly bloodied.
he knows
They
if my
have lost
infantry
half
gets to
their
them,
men.
it's just gonna kill him. He's kind of got nowhere to run. I'm not going to charge at the Ghouls yet. They're not quite exactly as weak as I want them to be.
We've captured the enemy's general. That'll teach the coward.
I'll let them run around, get exhausted, you know.
He can rest at our leisure.
Alright, let's go in.
Behold how our cowardly foe runs. It's time to press the attack.
Alright, I think we got him.
This is a clear victory that goes to only men of great virtue and valor.
Good job, Belaine. Too many W's in this name, sorry. Execute.
Glorious victory is ours, sire. My lord, orders. My lord.
Probably auto-resolve these
It is
ones.
then, sire. Glorious victory is ours, sire. Glorious victory is ours, sire. Your will, sire. To war, then, sire. Your will, sire.
Alright, well, things are going well over here on the Egyptian front. Like the guy said, that was a quarter of his army. So he's got 4 more armies like that, I guess.
Yes. We shall slaughter them, my lord. Are you joking, sire?
Down the taxes very briefly here. Just so these guys don't rebel. And we'll put it back high. Yep, there goes Emperor Barbarossa drowning.
Your Majesty.
We are prepared to receive your message. Very well.
Oh, we already did this.
Marzala.
Okay.
An order.
Come on.
They'll
Die.
wish they'd never been born.
There we go. The bandits have been destroyed.
Such is the fate of all who oppose us. Yes.
I'm glad you feel appreciated, Paul. You better.
Where to,
Considering you came from nothing.
Approaching quietly. Tomorrow's journey planned out, sire.
Orders. To war, then, sire. Glorious victory is ours. Hail, my king. As you will, my king. To battle.
Okay, we could
Hail,
retrain some
my
of our
king.
cavalry.
Orders.
Let's do some merging first.
Orders.
Well, actually, I don't want to merge these two because they have XP. This guy could get merged, though.
Sire.
Well, I'm gonna wait on that, actually.
And your posts.
Yeah, our enemy is
fleet upon
fucked.
us. Sire, the battle is lost. No more win today, sire. Muster your courage, men. We
See, now
march
this
into
will
battle.
this will cost way less troops than if we had assaulted. And again, if you're like really good at the game, you can just assault all these guys on turn 1 and win. But I don't know. I've never been good at the sieges in this, and I'd rather save the troops. Shit, they're moving different. Already out here. Alright, let's push them against the walls. I think we're just gonna have to charge here.
Our men
Basically
are winning
nowhere
the
to
battle.
maneuver.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Just gonna be a slog. But a slog that I think that we're better positioned to win than if we had assaulted the city. Or not win, but we would have won either way. I just, you know, we'll lose those guys.
The enemy general flees like the coward he is. Press onward and break the spirit of his army.
These guys are fighting to the death. I don't want that. Feel free to run away. whenever you want, just feel free to lay down your arms and flee. Totally won't execute all prisoners. It's not the policy here at the Kingdom of Jerusalem. We have a very fair POW retention policy.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Let's not lose our Knights of Tripoli here. Could be useful later. No, I told you to get out. I have to literally tell you to flee, I guess? You gonna listen to me? These guys are just so bloodthirsty. Ah, look, they're still in the back. Get out. Oh, I see. I keep accidentally selecting them. There must be guys stuck in here. Drop boiling oil on the giant bomb of my guys. It's not what you like to see. You know what? We're pulling you back. Let them try to come out of the gates again. And then just jump them. Just keep charging at them with... Yeah, honestly, that's what we should be doing. Is just making like a little square here so they keep trying to come out of the gates, and then I just charge my cavalry at them over and over again.
Archers.
The archers here too.
The enemy general flees like the coward he is. Press onward and break the spirit of his army.
I feel like he said that like 3 times now. So he keeps fleeing, they go to the city center, and then they regain their morale, and then they come back. Yeah, we're under attack because this tower is shooting at us.
Good tidings. The enemy general lies dead.
Oh, there he goes.
Sent the base cur to hell. Move on.
The guys are dead right here. Maybe they're trying to kill enough guys and have enough guys die that it blocks the gate. Alright, now maybe we send the infantry in, now that they've been significantly weakened. Just force them through. Because the problem is every time he comes back, these towers shoot at me. There we go. Alright, well, I still lost way more guys in this than I should have. What I should have done was immediately pull back the minute he decided to sally forth. That way the battle would stay outside the walls, even if he runs away, and then just stay out there and make him keep coming
My
back.
lord, our men are in command of the city.
This is like one of the tricks you can do, by the way, is you can get one of your guys in like this corner and not aggro whoever they have in the center, and then just take the city. I mean, I'm not really doing that here, I am fighting, but that's like one exploit. This is not a bug-free game. As well as its design. See, look, we're just gonna sit here and take the city and stare at each other. These 4 archers are shooting at me.
We're under attack. We're under attack. This is a clear victory.
Support the faithful, sneed the
We
poor.
have triumphed. God be praised. He has granted us victory.
They want me to take Cyprus. Well, considering the state of our navy, I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Ships ready. Joining the.
I guess we could try to build one up, but I don't really know if that's the best use of our money. Alright, well, we're back to being profitable. Let's keep on that track. We want trade. Port. Oh wait. Grain exchange. That's also what you want. I really should try to break this blockade too, honestly. I think that's where most of our trade goes.
An honorable, glorious victory!
Oh fuck, the Fourth Crusade. It's when a bunch of Venetians stopped in Constantinople, presumably intending to go onto the Holy Land, and then decided to just sack the, like, biggest Christian city on Earth. Idiots.
Aye, sire. Merging fleets, my lord. Hail, my king.
There's a little
As
more
you
to it than that,
command,
but
my
it was bad.
By God's will, we have triumphed!
Alright, what do we want to do here? We got this army.
I will not waste
I'd really
words
rather
on
not
you.
be trapped between this army and the garrison. So I think we're just going to
Hail, my
confront this
king.
army.
By your will, sire, we shall engage.
So I don't want to besiege the garrison, and then that army shows up behind me, and then I have to fight them both. I'd just rather wipe these guys out.
I think you all know my quality, men. I would not lead you onto the field of battle without good cause. We are not here to dance a cavote or pavan. We are here for the grim business of killing. I promise that I will make sure it is our foes who do any dying that is needed. All I ask of you is that you fight like men possessed if needed. Our Egyptian foes should pray to their god. As shortly they will be judged before him. We will send them all to heaven or hell soon enough. Now, lads, this will need courage. We must advance into a hail of missiles and then kill them. And so, make your peace with God and any rivals in our ranks, and set your heart on what is to come. Go with God, men! Raise our banners!
True. War is not about dying for your country, it's about making the other guy die for his. Alright. He said they have a lot of missiles. Did not know that. I wonder what he means by a lot. Does he mean only? Because that would be good. As I explained before, that means we could just charge at him. But if he just means he has a lot of missiles, maybe it's not good. You know, like if he can protect his archers. And if those are horse archers, that's also bad.
Heavy infantry! Move out! Heavy cavalry! Heavy cavalry! March! Heavy cavalry! Onward! Units, march!
Alright, let's see. A lot of infantry. I don't see any cavalry. No, he does. Three heavy cavalries. Heavy infantry. Okay, this is a good army. Better than what they usually send out against us, that's for sure. We have one horse archer. Alright. We're gonna need to exhaust him. If he's smart, he'll charge his whole mob of infantry into me, but if we can sort of keep him from doing that and use our Turcopoles and our archers to wear down his heavy cavalry especially, but also heavy infantry. And this shouldn't be, then we should win. Let's take care of this first. Setting these guys at an oblique angle so that if they decide to do that, they just charge right at us, they can come in on the side. Like a funnel. These Mamluk archers are good. They're better than our Turcopoles. I'm like, yeah, he's just running away here. So annoying. See, and our Turcopoles would die in like a one archer off. There's foot archers over here, so I'm just not even going to do that. Okay, but he is kind of out of position here. He's got a lot of archers out here that are protected. We're going in. Okay, we got his foot archers at least. See if we can break the Mamluk cavalry too, that would be a big one. Come on. Alright, we didn't break him, but I think we killed a bunch of them. Let's get out. Alright, what's going on here? Archer militia, out of position, go. Just go. The Turcopoles around. Are you gonna make it? I don't think so. The AI is playing this one better. Alright, get out, get out. Yeah, we're losing against this Mamluk archer unit, our Turcopoles. And he was able to flee him out of the way of our cavalry. We might have to just advance ourselves. Like, I was kind of hoping I could get him to run up the hill, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I'd rather do it once his horse archers are neutralized. That way I have the advantage in maneuvering. Really? You're going to do this again? He keeps like putting his archers out here to bait me. But he doesn't protect them. At least not close enough. Gotta keep them together, dude. Well, I think I see an opportunity here. Not here. No.
Very much in our favor.
Charge right into his entire mass of
victory will
infantry.
be ours.
Okay, looks like he's just given up on this contingent. I'm gonna run these guys completely off then. Can we catch them? Can we catch the archers? Mamluk archers, please? Nope. Alright, let's go back then. Okay, yeah, he only has one option left, and it's to come right at me, and that's what he's gonna do. It's good. Very good. Let's get our infantry ready. Want the line to be longer here. Now that we know that what direction they're coming at and what angle and everything, we can set it up perfectly so we have the advantage. We're out of archers with the Turtle Poles over there. That sucks. Oh shit. Oh shit. This is a mistake. Our heavy cavalry over here got caught. Alright, charge. Want to keep some of our guys, so we keep these guys in reserve. That way, after these guys, our enemies are tired, you know, they'll slog it out for a little while. Oh, run, 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 run! Don't get caught! Come on! Okay. Well, that was a mistake. You want to kite these guys a little bit. They're not going to catch up to even your heavy cavalry. So you want to let them just sort of like chase. Well, this is going well. This infantry is like basically already broken. But our cavalry over here needs help. Not doing so well. This is why you keep a reserve.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. They're broken over here. Yeah, we lost these two knights, basically. We didn't have to, but... It's on me. Okay, don't chase these guys across the whole battlefield. You're just gonna get hurt. Or you're just gonna get fatigued. You're gonna get chronic Arab fatigue charging them across the map.
General flees like the coward he is.
Okay, we gotta be careful here. We don't want to lose our general.
Of his army.
I just want to use a general for mop-up here. I don't really want them to actually fight. Because it'd be basically a waste. And the problem is when you charge with cavalry, any single guy has a % chance of dying on the charge, including your general. So even if you charge like a unit that you instantly break, you have like all the advantage. Your general can die. Okay, that heavy cavalry is a problem.
Behold how our cowardly foe runs. It's time to press the attack.
I'm surprised by that. I thought I was going to have to attrit down these two heavy cavalry significantly more. This is on a harder difficulty. That would have been bad. This is definitely the best army we fought, and it showed because they did a lot more damage to us. I also just made a bunch of mistakes, especially in the middle of the battle. The beginning, I think I was doing well when I got his horse archers, but the middle, when my 3 knights over here got caught by his heavy cavalry, that was a big mistake. Yeah, and this is why I don't have the infantry chase all the way around. I'd rather them just stay here in a line. That way they can catch anyone who's like running away through them. And they're just not going to catch up to them. And you're just wasting fatigue. Like, especially if you get a battle where it looks like the army's breaking and they start to run away, but they regain morale and turn around, and you've been running after them the whole battlefield, so you have like no stamina. It can be really bad. And you're like not in any kind of formation or position or anything.
All of Christendom will be
That wasn't
awed
that
by
bad,
the
200.
victory
The problem
we
is
have
that these
won here
200 we
today.
lost are almost all knights. They're like our best guys.
An honorable, glorious victory. Hail my king.
Knight stables, that's what we want here. I don't care about how much money this castle makes, it just needs to be our reinforcement point.
Hail my king.
I think we could retrain all of these knights. I think we have the reinforcement for it.
Fleet ready, sire. Hail my king.
It's also Richard. Get him over here.
With honor, sire. Yes, my liege. With honor, sire.
I also like how you can build forts in this game, like anywhere on the map. There's some campaigns that's so useful. In the overworld campaign, when you're playing as Venice or Milan in northern Italy, where there's a bunch of choke points, you can put some pretty crazy forts that allow you to defend Italy. All right, editing time. Sneed.